Hello, my friends.
Hello, hello.
Welcome. Welcome to Dip a Toe. I'm your host, Melissa. And as many of you know, Simon is working the night shift lately and can't join the lives for a while. So tonight we have the lovely Keda co-hosting with me. How are you doing, Keda?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. How about yourself? How are
I'm
you?
doing fantastic. It's been a long day. I
Yes,
stayed up quite late last night and
me too. I think I was up
I'm
until I didn't
so
see
tired.
I did not see the victory speech because I knew I had to be to work at 7:30 this morning, so that just didn't happen. But I was
Man,
over the moon.
it was a good evening, but I
Yes,
definitely I definitely stayed up a little bit too late. Uh
yes.
but I wanna welcome everybody in. We got 7 of you in here so far. If you'd smash that like button and share this out, it would really help us. Um Tonight we have exciting episode for you. We're going to dive into the world of cryptocurrency and blockchain innovation and community building tonight. In the first hour, we have the honor of welcoming Stone from Trimaera. And Trimaera is a pioneering company that's pushing the boundaries of the crypto industry. He's going to tell us about all the work that they're doing in the crypto space and gain insight into his vision of what Trimaera is and also what it means to build a solid community, which is so needed in the crypto space right now. He seems to be bridging them together nicely. And so I'm excited to talk to him about that. And then in the second hour, Kita, the conversation is
Mhm.
going to continue, and we're going to have our friend. I don't know, like a lot of you guys probably already know if you're in the crypto space, if you're a builder or you're just a lurker. Lady K is on the spaces
Yeah.
quite a lot. Her name's Kristen Dack, and so she's going to be joining us in the 9 o'clock hour. In Miss Amanda Jones, Archer, Optimistic Prime. She's going to come and join us. And then we have Toastman Tech Toasty, who's also part of the crypto community, and he's been hosting spaces lately. So they're going to join us to further on this conversation about the expansive possibilities that cryptocurrency and the blockchain world and digital assets. What do they bring to the table? Maybe we're going to touch on some innovative projects that come across their desk, so to speak, and what kind of creative solutions are being built in this space. And then most importantly, part of this show is to underscore the essential role that fostering community and collaboration is how why that's needed to drive the future of the digital technology. So whether you're a seasoned crypto person, a builder, or you're just beginning your crypto journey or a dip a toer, tonight's episode is going to be packed with valuable insights and engaging discussion. So sit back, relax, and let's dip a toe into this fascinating world of the crypto community. I did want to mention one other thing, Kita.
Yes.
I said Crypto J, 68J.
Yes.
He's also going to stop by. I'm not sure when. Hopefully in the second hour, because he went to a special premiere of the XRP Unleashed film. That's created by the Fruition Productions. We interviewed Maya here on this show, and he got to see the full film. And he said it is mind blowing the amount of information that's in there.
Wow.
So I wanted him to come on for a quick second and talk about that a little bit, and maybe he'll mention Chicago, which
Yes.
you and I are both ambassadors for. So
Yes.
I am looking forward to this conversation. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. So without further ado, let's get Stone in here. What do you say?
Let's do it.
The man of
Hello.
the hour. How are you, Mr. Stone?
I'm actually pretty nervous.
You're
I'm
nervous.
Why? This is
yeah,
just a
because I'm on camera.
conversation.
I'm so used to just talking to my phone or just talking out into space. It's weird to actually have my face displayed, So this is me.
Fantastic.
Um the audio is loud. Is there a way to turn? I kept trying to turn mine down. Is there a way to
turn your, I don't
turn the
know.
audio
Let's,
down just a bit? That's okay. No problem.
not sure.
Thanks. Thank you for the introduction. That was really nice.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Where to,
I'm
I
excited to
don't really,
talk.
I'm not sure where to start. And I think I'm stomping on you a little bit when I
No,
start to
well,
talk. So,
what I did want to say is that I've been following you. You kind of popped out of nowhere for me. I've been in the crypto space for several years now, and I I I hadn't come across your account, and then one day I was searching around and came across one of your spaces, and I'm like, this guy is what we need. Now, Stone, for those of you who don't know, he has a daily morning, what is it, crypto coffee or coffee and crypto morning
right.
chat every day. And you're bringing different folks in there, and I'll let you to speak to that. But that's how I came across your account, and I've just been so impressed. And the more that I get to know you, um, the more impressed I am. And so I definitely wanted to have you on. And so tell us a little bit about yourself before we start talking about all the things that you
Okay.
do. Who's Stone? Where'd you come from? What's your previous experience? Why are you in the crypto space?
Okay, well, that's a
A lot
lot
of work.
to dive into, but I guess we'll just start with me. I grew up in a small town. I graduated from a very rural high school. There was 62 people in our class. It was like a little bit of an exaggeration, but 61 of them went on to an extracurricular college or technical school or right into a family business. And one person out of my graduating class joined the military and left the country, and that was me. So I joined the Air Force right out of high school. Um, I grew up in a family of construction workers. We built houses. Pretty much my whole life, I was around construction and building and fixing things, creating things from nothing. My dad would go out, buy the land, dig the hole, build the house, sell the house. So I got to see a lot of how things should be ran, and my dad ran things old school. So, school of hard knocks, so to speak. And joined the military at 19 because I really didn't want to do construction my whole life, and went to Okinawa, Japan, right out of the
Nice.
gate. 19 years old, going to a foreign country, you learn real quick who you are and who you're not. You grow up around a certain crowd of people, and you kind of find yourself within that clique, so to speak. And then you're all of a sudden you're on the other side of the world trying to figure out who you are. And it was a very good experience. I ended up doing 20 years in the Air Force as a jet engine mechanic, and then I retired. I went from Kadena in Okinawa, Japan to South Carolina Shaw Air Force Base. Went from working heavies to fighters, which is kind of a big leap, but in the jet engine world, they think anything that, you know, suck bang below kind of engine. It doesn't matter what airframe it's on. And then after F-16s at Shaw, I went to Charleston Air Force Base, C-17s, retired out of Charleston, and I'm still here. Right 10 days after retirement, I was working at Bosch as a setup mechanic to begin with, and then I had a leadership role, and then rolled into process and project improvement, which is a little bit of a specialty outside of your daily mechanics or fixing breakdowns. You work directly with the engineer on certain projects, certain upgrades, making things that were already running, make them run better, more efficiently, make a better product faster. Um, After about 7 years of that, I found myself in a position that um, I was very unfulfilled in my what I call a 401k job. And I had a lot of life changes that pushed me towards um, put me in a place that I wanted to make a difference. And I was, you know, halfway through my life, so to speak, and I was no longer working for something that was bigger than myself, and I was just unfulfilled. I mean, without dragging this out into a long story, I was unfulfilled and I wanted to find something that I actually believed in, and I didn't know what that was. And through an amazing chain of events, I found myself in a situation where I could create a company. And I had a couple of guys that were very much like me and also very different from me in the things that I lacked. And we formed a friendship, we formed a bond, we came up with an idea that turned into a company. And next thing I know, I submitted my 2 weeks and I jumped in feet first. And the reason nobody knew who I was because I wasn't here.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
in the space and I wasn't here. That's why everybody's like, wow, you kind of came out of nowhere. And that's
Yeah.
because I
Because you
when I
did.
do things right, yeah, and when I do things, I do them in a way that apparently makes people take notice. And I've been told this through different forms, right, good or bad, that people tend to see me because I don't hide. You know, I'm consistently in your face. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing kind of depends on your actions, right? So,
Yeah.
anyway, I'm happy to be here. And that is a very short version of how I got here.
That I loved your story. I want to. You got some people in here already just chomping at the bit. Where we
Oh,
got our
I want to be able to see the chat.
we
How
got
do I pull up the chat?
you should be able to see it off to the right there. There's a comments box on the side of StreamYard there. You should
It
be able to
has a little red
Oh,
dot
I
at
see
the
it.
top of it.
Oh, I
yeah.
see
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
So
Oh,
I
nice.
want to say shout out to Toasty. He's coming in the second hour. Optimistic Primes in the chat. We got Mr. Simon says crypto says what's good family. We have
Nice.
a new mindset. We love you. Thank you for coming. Island Ghost Stephanie is here. Let's go. Let's dip a toe. We also have who else did I see in here? I saw Kelly. Miss Kelly's here. Kristen Dack, she's also coming on the show in the second hour. Tiara's here. And Becky Forbes. You guys, thank you so much for coming. I'm
Nice.
super excited. I did want to ask you, Trimaera, significance of the name, who came up with it? What does it mean? Does it mean
Oh
anything?
man, I knew you were going to do that.
I,
Yes, it does. And it came
you
James
can't
came
tell
up
us?
with it.
Okay. All right.
James is our legal guy from Wales, and I he actually we were in the middle of he does this a lot actually. We were in the middle of discussing something completely different, and he just came in the chat with Trimaera, and I couldn't pronounce it. I looked at Amanda and was like, and Amanda's my woman. Not you guys haven't met her, but Amanda XRPL, if you want to look her up, that's my woman. She takes very good care of me. And I showed her and she reads it off. She was like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "I don't know. We're gonna have to look that up." And but basically, it's the three of us and bringing truth to the ledger. You can look up the definition and read it out loud for the listeners. I don't have it memorized, and in fact, I would have to go back and look at it myself. But it was
Oh, you
very
mean
fitting at the time.
Oh, so you mean it's actually I didn't even think to look up that for a definition. Um let's see, what does it say? I got trimmer.
Let
It doesn't want to give me
me see.
give me
Let
it.
me see. Wait. Let me.
Try
I'll
wait,
pull up
try.
Telegram and see what he says.
Yeah, try my era is really what what I was seeing. Okay, buddy, I love you. I can't wait to hug all you guys in the chat. It's been an awesome couple of weeks, and
Yes, it
I
has.
so excited for our future. Did you find it, Stone? I just think that you know, I saw on your website that you're fully operational coming in like March or something of 2025. But you have some other things that are happening, and one of those things that where I found you was the coffee and crypto morning chats where you're bringing all these folks on, and like I said, you've come on the scene, and you've got a foothold. You've established yourself as a respected member, and one thing I really like about you is that you create a welcoming space for people that are either the educators in the space, the people that have done it, the newbies coming in and asking questions. I've listened to so many of your spaces, and I don't feel like anybody is put down. It's just a really welcoming environment, and so I kind of wanted you to speak about that a little bit. What provoked you to start that up, and how did you get to where you're at already in such a short amount of time?
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to give you a lot of a backstory so that you can understand it. Um, So the way this, so first of all, in the military, I didn't really even put like where I lived, or like when I went somewhere, I wouldn't tell anybody where I was going. And when I'd go on vacation, I wouldn't post it on social media like where while we were there. It'd always be after we got back. There was a lot of OPSEC involved, like just never really put myself out there. So when the three of us started making Trimaera, it was very evident my role was going to be the upfront and out there guy. And what we are trying to do is bring trust and unity. That means I was going to have to be extremely transparent. And my socials were going to have like my real name and my picture and where, and I was just like, it was a different mindset. Um,
Yeah.
and but when I do things, I go all the way. So when I finally decided like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, Spaces was like the call, right? Because what other platform is free? and
Right.
and that was another reason that led us there was when we started XRP recovery prior to Trimaera even being a thing. um, all the influencers and the money they wanted, and
Mhm.
the 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 lack of questions they asked was
Mhm.
very evident on what their purpose was and what their motivations were and where the problem lied, right?
Mhm.
So in that discovery is where spaces evolved or came to even be a thought that I would attempt. Um, thousands of dollars to promote a coin that they know nothing about is basically where they're at. They don't ask, and I say I do admit there are good influencers out there with a moral compass. I understand that. Just like any profession, you have your good, your bad, your 80-20%, right? I understand that. I'm not talking about the good people. So if you are feeling some kind of way, you're an influencer and you feel some kind of way about the things I have to say, then yeah, I'm probably talking about you.
Yeah. Huh? Just
Right.
saying.
Okay. Right. Just saying it. And if it feels like I'm talking about you, then it's probably you. So, um, and if it's not you, then it's not you, right? If that's not your truth, then that's not you. But what I found was they wanted money and could care less if I had thought about my tokenomics, if I had thought about the how the project would succeed. They did not care. So that's a problem. And that was the first roadblock that popped up. And one of the things when you're doing a process improvement is you knock down all the roadblocks, and every time you knock down one little thing, the next thing pops up, right? So the very first roadblock is, how does a project reach a community member, not an
Yeah.
investor, a community member,
I
right?
like that.
So in order to reach more members, um, you have to have some sort of voice. And if you're not willing to pay for that voice, you have to become it. Well, how are you going to do that when you haven't even been in a space? You haven't even, and I don't mean X space, I mean like
Yeah.
in an area of business, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that was a big hurdle. So the first thing I had to do was make an account, you know? I pulled up an old Twitter account that I had to like jump through the hoops to figure out the password, you know? And
Been there.
right? And then I just started joining spaces and listening. And actually, it was my off time, like when I wasn't working on the business, I wasn't in Telegram and I wasn't in meetings and I found a guy named Matthew and he was just a regular guy having a bad day. And he was in a space like venting and I just clicked on it like what is this, you know, it had a purple ring. I clicked it and was like this dude just had a bad day and was venting and people were supporting him and I'm like this is cool as shit, like let's do this, right? And then the next day I went on and started looking for, you know, XRPL spaces. Guess how many I found?
Hmm. How
None.
many?
None.
And
Zero. I found zero, you know, and I was like, oh. And of course, because I wasn't in that circle, right? Once you're in the circle and you know where to look, it's a lot easier. And there's another problem. Why isn't it easier for me to find this? And why isn't
yeah.
anything there's nothing consistent. And there's
Hmm.
another problem, right?
Hmm.
So I just kept finding all these problems that were very easily me. And if it's gonna sound kind of weird, but if you've ever taken the love language test
Hmm.
and
Yes.
you've figured out how you communicate your feelings, right? How you receive love, very, very powerful emotion, and emotion is our currency. And I could get into that too. But so Amanda sent me this test and she was like, "Hey, I want you to take this test, blah, blah, blah. It's a love test." I'm like, "Okay, what does that mean?" She's like, "Just take it and send me the results." So I take it and I'm like, "All right, you want my results?" And she said, "Before you do," she sent me hers. She's like, "I already know your results," and sent me hers.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Whoa,
Wow.
yeah, right." Insert all these words, and I'm like, "This is pretty cool." And so that's
First,
when I
first, can
started.
I just tell you, I am impressed that you found a woman that is also involved in crypto
She's
because
not.
that's impressive. Oh, but she has Amanda XRPL, right?
I know because she loves me
Oh,
because
okay.
because
Oh,
she's into me.
She
okay.
got to make sure
All
that
right.
everybody knows that you're hers. That's
I
what
stand
that is.
corrected. I stand corrected.
Right.
But
Find a
we'll get
woman that
we'll
supports you
get
in
there,
everything you do,
Amanda.
whether or not they're interested or not. Right.
Amen. I got a man, same way.
uh,
Amen.
Right.
Absolutely. Same here. Got it.
So this one she don't she calls it fake coins. She calls it fake coins and giggles when I'm working. She says, "Oh, you're always playing on your phone with your little fake coins."
With the
Right?
fake coin.
Like
Mm-mm.
she is not a crypto girl. So
uh,
that which makes it even more impressive for some of the things she's done and you've heard about. Like cuz I talk about her, you know, and
yep.
how she's helped me and some of my other projects along the way. Um, don't get me sidetracked. We should be talking about Amanda this whole time. She'll be like, way to put me out there, you know? Um, anyway,
Sorry, Amanda.
is she in there? I didn't even look at the
Thomas
chat. I
Doyle says Stone is awesome. Yes, he is. Matt Riley
Oh,
says
thanks.
hello. Yeah. Yep. Stone
Um,
says Toasty says you're the real G.
yeah, all
Uh,
these guys are very, very nice. And so that thanks for we'll take it back on track, right? So how did I get in this space? So the problem was there was nobody in there. There was nobody consistent, and that's me. I'm very consistent. And I I don't know how deep I want to go into this on levels of why I am the way that I am. I don't want to make this into mental health, right? But but anyway, I am very consistent and I like to do things the same time every day, right? I like to know what I'm going to do. I like to do it. I like to know that it's going to be successful. I like to know that it's going to be impactful. I don't want to waste my time. Like uh, eh, oh, what happened? We just lost her. She was like, I'm out of here.
No, I'm not gone. I just didn't want you to see me move away from my camera.
Oh, okay. Man, that was distracting. I'll chase a squirrel now. Um, so anyway, I decided that I would just start showing up every day at the same time. And I was sitting there, I'm like, what am I gonna, what's catchy, right? And I was tired when I was thinking about this. And I grabbed my coffee and I was like ingesting massive amounts of caffeine. And I was like, well, they both start with a C, right? So that's literally the genius way I came up with it. I just came up with it, you know?
Perfect name.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's not anything special. It was just, but the space has turned into something very special, and very special to me. And the people showing up are very genuine, and I liked that the energy is reciprocated. And anyway, where I was going with the whole love language thing is, I found out through taking that test, I found out a lot about myself, like the language I speak is service. The love language I speak is service. And that's also what fulfills me and what makes me happy is to do for others. Now, if you ask me to do something, I will resist it and be like, no, like when I was a kid, if my dad um told me to do the dishes, I freaking hated doing like the whole time I was doing that chore, I was just a little huffy puffy, didn't want to do it, right? But if I wanted to do the dishes to surprise my dad,
Yeah.
right? It was a
Yeah.
great idea, and I was happy to do it. Um, that is a very easy way to determine or to explain my love language of service, right? And so when I'm providing this service to the ledger or to these developers or making these connections, like I'll literally be in the middle of the space and make a connection and get goosebumps. Like
Mm.
that's not work. That's not
Yeah.
work. That's
Excellent.
that's just what you that's like that's just how I live my life. And like, it's just so much fun for me, but it's such a needed thing, right? So, like, the reason Amanda and I work so well is because I fulfill her love language without trying, because I'm making it's reciprocal. It's like it's natural. Like I
Yeah.
do for her and she does for me because we speak the same language of service, you know. When I'm cooking, she's right there with me. When I'm doing yard work, she's doing yard work. You don't want to do these things. So now I quit this job, or actually before I even quit, I'm also a project manager over Blues Crypto down in Australia. Uger, the man, and I'll take a minute to explain this, but right now I'm just talking about Amanda's portion of this. Um, I needed an editor, and she is like the what is it? Not OCD, but is it OCD where you just
Oh yeah, it
things that
is.
are things that are
Mhm.
wrong pop out like
You
Attention
know
whatever.
what?
to
So
detail.
so it's
ADHD.
like this is like her superpower. She doesn't even have to read a paragraph, but she can look at it and see five errors in it and be like, just because it looks wrong, and then no. Anyway, so I made her my editor, and I had her train one of my advertising team, and she was making an X account, and I was like, just make it like mine. You know, she doesn't care about crypto at all, but she cares about me and making me happy and being involved in whatever I'm doing, right? So I said the same thing when I introduced her to the advertising team. Like they were like, "Oh, this is great. Like your partner is into crypto." I'm like, no, no,
Not
she's
really.
not.
Not
She's
really.
very supportive, you know. And so she did that for a month, got them on track, and then kind of dipped out of that. Like it's it was too much because I will go from the time I wake up, literally like 3 in the morning, I'll be on this thing, checking all my Telegram rooms, checking in with my team, checking in with my communities, and like the next thing I know, it's 4 o'clock. I'm supposed to be halfway through my workout. And I'm like these are things that, so now I can't look at this until I get my
Yeah.
workout in. And this is, I
Yeah.
wake up at like 3 in the morning to go work out because I know, because I'm going to be on spaces and be doing things all day long. And it's just like mind blowing. She'll be getting off work 5, 6 o'clock at night. I'm still right at it. And you guys know because you'll be there with me, or some of these
Oh,
people in the
yeah.
chat, they're in
Yeah.
there with me all day, and it's
Yeah.
like
Yep.
and it's like So when she says you're always playing on your phone, you know what? You're probably right.
Yeah,
It is
it's
because
not playing. It's not
it
playing,
it is half right.
but
I mean, it's not work as in I don't dread it. I
yeah,
look forward to it, and it's never a job that's going to be finished because it's all about education and it's all about connecting people that otherwise wouldn't make connections. And we'll get further into that. I know get a little bit offside or sidetracked, but I have been up since 2 in the morning, and I did stay up to watch my man win the election. So it's like I got like 2 hours of sleep in there somewhere,
same,
and then
same.
I took a
Same.
little 30-minute nap before this because I was just like staring at screens, and like that meme alliance space today was like 4 hours, and like the people that but the people that were introducing to each other, it's like the I keep wanting to cuss, but I'm doing real good so far. I
Yeah,
don't know how many minutes we're in, but I haven't said one cuss word, I don't think. That's pretty impressive. Grew
we're
up
a
in
half
That's
hour.
construction,
good.
20 years in the
That's
military.
good.
I'm just telling you, you know, like, um, anyway,
Let's go into where you start creating these spaces, and you recognize the need. um Obviously there had to be a first one. You get some people coming in, and
mhm,
really I could see it's just a chain reaction, um with the
yeah,
different folks coming in. Once they learn about you, once other developers come in, they realize it's going to be a safe space for them to come in and talk with people that know. And so, from what I can see, you're providing a place where someone can ask a question, and 9 times out of 10 someone else in the room is going to know the answer.
yeah.
And it's an environment where they don't feel apprehensive to ask those questions, because all they have to do really is listen to your space 1 or 2 times, maybe even just one time, and realize I'm okay to raise my hand here. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I've
Yeah,
listened to a lot of spaces and I don't put myself out there. You're like probably one of the only spaces that I've actually come up and talk, and I do a show. And so,
wow.
I've gone into plenty of spaces. Keda has her show on Thursday nights. We do that. I feel comfortable there. But there are some spaces where that, whether it's bickering or,
Yeah. The
whatever, if
fighting,
you
the
Yeah,
infighting,
not
the
my
name
vibe, it's
I'll
over
leave.
calling
my
and
time.
all of that is bad.
Yes. So when I came across yours, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. And so I kind of wondered, like, where are they finding you organically? Are you reaching out to these people to come on your spaces? And what types of people and projects are you finding coming into these spaces?
Okay. Great. Let me pick that apart a little bit. So the way I started was, I touched on it a little bit. I ran into this guy Matthew was doing spaces, and I didn't know how they worked. And I was like, and he provided the same kind of scenario. I told you he was like having a bad day and like being very vulnerable and being very real. And so I just clicked on the mic to ask, like to request. This is the first time I ever been on a space, and first time I'd ever even seen it. Like anyway, and he let me on there, and I was like, "How does this work?" And they just walked me through it. And there's this other guy, Christopher Rudders. He was actually hosting the space. Matthew had just been a speaker, but I didn't know the difference at the time, right? And Christopher talked to me a little bit, and he was a big Trumper. So we had a lot of love of country, you know. That we had that connection, and he was like, yeah, I'll show you how. And then he showed me how to set one up, and I was like, okay, cool. I need to have these developers on here that no one's heard of. And there was a couple of them that James had found through doing different research on things that we were trying to develop. And I reached out to them and asked them if they would like to come onto a space, and they were like, sure. And that was the guy from Swiss Tech, Halvix
Mm.
X, who run the Tipper, and that's why I'm such big supporters of them, because they were right out the
Oh,
gate. They were so friendly to me, and
what's his name? What's his name?
which one?
The guy that does the
And
tipper.
I think that's on. Is it Andreas? I always go by their actual X names.
Oh,
Toasty would probably know.
okay. It's
We'll get
I
to
thought
that.
I heard you say I thought I heard you say Helvic X.
Helvic
Um,
X is the X account, but that's not his name. That's
oh,
his name. I
yeah,
want to say it's Andreas.
yeah, it is. I was talking with him this afternoon. Amperus, I think is his
Right.
name. Um, yeah,
That's right. That's right.
nice person.
Oh, he's great. He's great, and he's very self-conscious of his English, but his English is great. But you'll hear him apologizing for it. Yeah, and but then I started thinking, well, these guys, so through that conversation, I realized that they're a bunch of very smart developers, and they didn't really have anybody speaking for them, and not just them. I'm using them as an example, but they actually had Stephanie, but that's a whole other story, and she's actually in here too. She does a great job getting their message out, and I met her through them. So, but anyway, the point was there was developers that had no way to reach the community member or the potential community member without paying for an influencer. And this type of um, person, that type of um, level of development is not seeking that sort of influencer. They're not going to even entertain that kind of mentality. So there was another need, right? And it just all worked out to where I decided I'm going to have this huge space and get all these people in there at once. And I just went full steam with my boy Obi, who's the captain of my advertising team for Blues Crypto. And we just went out there and I hit up every development team I could find. And some of them were receptive, some of them weren't. Some of them asked me, like, "Are you a scammer? Like, what do you mean you don't want anything? What do you want?" I'm like, "I don't want anything. I just want you to come on and tell people about what you're doing." And like they couldn't understand that I was doing it for free and I didn't have a like an ulterior motive. I mean, I do have an ulterior motive. I need to get my name out there and their name out there. Like I mean, it's not an ulterior motive. That's the motive, right? Like that's the currency that I'm seeking is connection. So you can pay me back by making a connection and helping the next person. And a lot of people were receptive to it. The night of the show, it kind of fell through. There were issues on X that night, and half the speakers couldn't hear, so they end up
Yeah.
leaving. And the
Oh,
people that were there, shout out to Reaper. The Reaper crew was up there first, and they stayed for the whole thing. And like
the best
some of the
crew.
guys, they couldn't even hear, but they still stuck in there because their man was up there talking, And I love that crew. Like,
They
wait till
are the
when
best.
Toasted, yeah,
Absolutely.
they're awesome. And anyway, so when that fell through, I took it pretty hard. Like I had put so much work into that and I mean for all for from my perspective it sucked. Like
Yeah,
everybody left. I had so much planned. I was thinking this thing was going to go for like 4 hours and we were going to get all these things covered and I had like a sheet like filled out of everything I was going to do and none of it worked. And I was like, man,
darn it.
there we go. Well,
Yeah,
well, there goes that idea. But then the next day, everybody still wanted to hear the information.
let's
So I'm
go,
like,
man.
yeah, we'll just do it every day. And so my idea is to have a different, like a schedule of a different development team on there every day. But so far, because that's what happened. First Ledger came in. So
Mm,
first ledger hit. So when all this happened was before all first ledger. Like when I created our company and all the things we were doing was way before all the people or I say all the people aren't even here yet, right? They're about to be, especially after this movie comes out. Um,
yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
so I'm like, I'm I'm a firm believer of the universe provides, right? If you're doing the right thing, going the right direction, the universe will push you in that right direction. And I'll be damned if the universe isn't pushing us all. Like right now,
Amen. Totally.
it is the energy in the
It's
room
also
every day you wake.
driving us together. We're like magnets being drawn to
Right.
each other. All the
Everything is
goods
being
coming
squeezed
together.
into the right direction, and it's going to
Yes.
go up, right? It's going to be a big
Yes.
green arrow going right to the sky.
Mm.
Um, like look at the stock market today. Look at all crypto. Who opened up their wallet today and was just like the whole thing was green.
I
Like
know.
like
Yep.
thank you for
Yep.
coming back, Trump. Like put us
Well,
in the
I
right
use
direction.
the crypto bubbles. Does anybody use
Ah,
crypto bubbles in here? It's fun. It's just this app that
Jesus.
has bubbles and they
Oh, the
float around.
bubbles. I know what you're
Love it.
talking about. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Crypto
Mm,
Bubbles is pretty sweet and a fun app to look at the cryptocurrency. Yeah, that you I mean,
yeah.
you definitely have, you've been bringing the community together and giving a voice to those, like you're saying, some of those developer types, they're not looking for a paid shill. They don't want anything to do with that. They just want to do their work and
Right.
they want to build innovative products and they want to help others so that we can be a strong community. And from what I can tell, and prior to listening to some of the people in your spaces, I didn't really get that. I mean, I saw, you have your YouTube influencers and things like that. And I mean, I'm on YouTube. I don't consider myself an influencer. I'm content creator, community member. My thing is with this show, the Dip a Toe show, is an entry level for people coming in and also to provide a place where people that are building on the ledger, whether it's the XRP ledger or whatever, I don't care. I want to know what people are building. And so a show like yours in the mornings, I'm actually able to listen in on your spaces and determine, like, is this person worthy to come on Dip a Toe? Because while
Right.
spaces is great, they're hard to kind of find later. And so some of the folks that you're in there chit chatting with, they could have the opportunity to come on Dip a Toe and get their face or just their ideas out there. They don't have to show their face on Dip a Toe, but it's then just kind of like a more structured type interview that's recorded and easily shared, and that sort of thing. And so that's where I think, like, we can kind of help you, add to the arsenal in the community building that you're trying to do. Because I just think it's so awesome what you're doing. Like,
I appreciate it.
I
I
really
think
do.
that
I'm so impressed.
I think that the way it's all fallen into place is really it's beautiful. Shows like this show there's a couple other spaces on X that kind of carry the load in between different times when it would be lacking, and the way that we've kind of found our own little areas. I don't mind doing it early in the morning because then I can listen in the afternoon when I'm cooking dinner and I'm doing all my other things. I can have the phone there. And although I do end up speaking a lot now because I've made a lot of connections and people
You're
do
gonna
give
lose
me
your
the mic
voice.
and um, they know that I'm going to bring something meaningful to the conversation, even if I don't understand exactly what the tech we're talking about in that space. I can contribute something for the direction it should go. And I always offer up information nobody asks for, like
Mhm.
but I'll be in the middle of just listening to a space and hear an idea that either they haven't vocalized or they haven't thought about at all, and I'll offer it up. And when I started doing that, people would come in my DMs like, explain what that means. And like I've literally helped people with full business plans, not like literally writing it down, the idea, the concept of that they hadn't even done. And some projects literally have been born through conversations that I had. And it's like every time that happens, it's so energizing,
Yeah.
and it's like I'm doing something here, like something needed, something valuable. And so, like you said about the developers not having a place to talk or whatever, not seeking out those influencers, they they are starting to enjoy it. If you like it, like that show Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
And now they show up a lot. I mean, I do send out some DMs sometimes when I think about it to to different developers like, hey, we're talking about something that you could, capitalize on, or at least um provide some sort of insight to that would really add to this conversation, and they pop up and they're like, "What do you need?" Sure. And the more that happens, it's like the next person does it, right? That energy keeps going and going, and we just keep building and building and all of our networks are growing. Um, and that's through consistency. People just know that somebody's going to be there at this time. Let's go listen, and sometimes the conversations just evolve, and then through building those relationships, you find out about other things. Like, I don't know,
Yes.
was that this morning that yesterday, Karma Coverage? Have you had him on here yet?
Not yet,
Yeah,
but
we know we
yeah,
know karma coverage.
he's going to come on. He messaged
I can't
me.
wait.
I
That's
need
so
to reach
good.
out to schedule an appointment to have him come on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, and
I'm
that's
a,
the thing. You have quality people that I've never heard of before. I mean, I had heard of Karma before. I will say that, but some of these other folks that you've had on, I didn't know, like Tex RP, and so some of
oh,
these
I
other.
love that guy.
There are so many.
Yeah.
And now, so here's what I want to say. We have about 10 minutes in this first hour. And in the second
Oh,
hour, we're going to
damn.
be bringing on extras. And so before we bring in the others, I number one, I wanted to know, Keda, if you had any questions for him, because
I did. We didn't go over recovery at all. I
we,
didn't even
we
tell you guys if.
And that's actually where I wanted to go because
same.
XRP recovery, I really want to get some really good information about that as a person who has lost XRP in the past. I'm wondering about recovery and how that works, or just even the whole project, how that XRP recovery works.
Let me pull up if you go to X. I don't know
Okay.
if you can share it with the screen. Um, Go to X and pull up because you need to see the list to understand. Go to XRP recovery,
Yep, I had it pulled up here, and of course, I I
and
didn't.
then there is a pinned post at the top, and it has a list of, actually, it's not pinned, but the top post is a list of the projects that we have already determined are a rug. So, or a scam or a failed project. So let's break down XRP recovery real quick. It started out as a dual coin system of recovery for investors that had lost their fund, their initial investment, whether that be through a blatant rug pull or through bad tokenomics, poorly ran project, whatever. We saw a need because we got scammed. I've been scammed. The way this all came about, I lost a lot of money learning the hard way on what a quality project was and what a trusted development team looks like. And we created a dual system called Chit Ching. The initial thought was we'll give these guys this token that's worth nothing. It's just a placeholder. They will hold on to it like their life depends on it. Kind of like taking coal and applying pressure and time, and it turns into a diamond. We turn in Chit into Ching, and it was kind of like a fun meme centric idea. It was just about fun and providing some kind of relief to X Sprint was the one that we started on. And holy shit, did we get a community of like-minded people out of that. A lot, like, I think it started with like 10 people and then 70 people, and then like around the 80 people mark, the conversations and things we were talking about, we realized there is something much bigger here than
Mhm.
recovering some XRP from Xsprint. And it was the people, right? To me, that's like to me, that's my currency is all the people and the knowledge and the experience that they bring. The little bit of XRP that we recover for people isn't as substantial as the community that they find in the process, right? We can't we People invest, $10,000. You can't recover that. But
Yeah.
you can't expect somebody to just hand that to you. But we so there was a James, the mathematical wizard that he is, came up with I guess not an algorithm, but a formula, um, percentage wise to distribution and all these fancy words for we're going to give you a little bit of what you lost, right? And in doing so, you hold that chit for a certain amount of time, and then we recover you with Ching, which is our value asset. And we had some very solid investors that believed in what we were doing, and they put in a lot of their money and just agreed on the back end to us, like, hey, we'll give you 2 years. We'll give you as much time as you need. Like, hold on to it. Like, they had also been scammed, but they're also in a place that they have funds that they could invest in a project like us and not miss any meals, you know?
Mm.
Um, like an angel investor, I guess you would say. So they kind of had our back in Ching, and we threw everything at it, and we told our people, like, look, this is not something that's going to get you rich, but it's going to get you a hell of a lot of good karma,
Yeah.
like. And so these guys put their money into Ching, knowing that it was going to be years before that ever actually, if it brought them a huge return, or any return at all, it was more about building this community that we wanted to build, and providing a place where people were going to come for education. But they're not going to come for education, right? They're going to come for recovery. They're going to come to get their money back. That's why they think they're coming. But why I want you to come is so you can find out where you screwed up,
Mm-hmm.
why you have a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
I want you. I'm gonna set you in the corner and be like, you did this wrong. This is how you do it, and you're gonna be extremely thankful, because now you have that knowledge, and knowledge is
Power.
priceless, right? So the actions you were doing to put your money into the market landed you here. I'm gonna show you what to look for so you don't come back, right?
Mm.
And that's where XRP recovery came in. Like, this is not fun and games. Like, we wanted it to be fun, and it was. We had a cute little cartoon dog, and we actually left the images for the tokens the way they are. We just kind of rebranded the structure because we wanted to be taken more seriously. We have a list of those on the screen, and there were hundreds of people affected by those scams, and we got like maybe 50 people to come claim.
Wow.
Ridiculous. Because they don't, yeah, like
They didn't know.
people they don't think that it's real, or they think that it's a scam itself.
Yeah.
And obviously, the people that take advantage of it, they're like, holy shit, I invested in that. And all
Yeah.
you do is you come into our Telegram room and you put your Zaman wallet into our bot, and it does the rest. You don't even have to tell it you don't even have to know what project you lost funds in. If you just put your wallet address in there, our bot goes out and does all the work to see. It checks snapshots on when we recovered the project, and if you had funds in there with a certain transaction history, then you qualify for the recovery. You don't even have to
Wow.
do anything. And like,
Wow.
people they just don't know. They don't know about it. So I'm glad that it's on the screen here. And if you were affected by any of those, Pepe X, FMT, xCloud, QNT, Moonboy, XSprint, any of those, we have a recovery process for you, and you're going to get a percentage of your money back. What do we get out of it? We get you. We get the investor that has already proven to be a risk taker. We get the investor that's already proven to understand how to use the Zamen wallet. We get an investor that already understands how the marketing works and how Telegram works. They already have a Telegram account set up. Like, they are our target investor. They just don't know which projects to invest in, and they're going to find us. They're going to hear what we're all about. They're going to start attending our spaces. They're going to become a knowledgeable investor, and then they're going to get their family involved,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's how
Yeah.
we build this community. You know what I'm about. You've been in my spaces, and that's what it's all about. And people are like, "Why are you doing this?" I'm like, "Because I want this to succeed." And
Yes.
nobody is going to take the time to do this because there's no money in it. There's no money in building it until there is, right?
Right.
There's no money in individual projects in the XRP ledger because it's not strong enough. But wait till we're all solid. When every project on the XRPL is connected to the other project, when we get Nile and IM Universe connected to TextRP,
I
right?
know.
Like,
Yeah.
look, I got goosebumps just saying it because I helped make that happen. And that's not going to change in history. When those guys are like at some big event in Dubai, like some big shots wearing their freaking tuxedos and like sipping on champagne because they are like the mecca for delivering media to a digital wallet, like, they're going to remember that they made that connection through coffee and crypto, some little
Yeah.
freaking show that some guy got tired of working for a 401k and, decided to make some connections. But anyway, XRP recovery is real. And so then another thing we created was, we're like, all right, people aren't, we rebranded it to make it look more, to be more professional and be more serious, right? We took the cartoon dog out. Um, we took out the music from the Telegram room. We changed the colors. We made, and now I advertise it as an educational Telegram room. We purchased X meme so we could still have
Mm-hmm.
fun. So we purchased a meme coin. Crypto Asset Guy launched it a year this month, no, November, right? October, November, maybe next month. This month. Anyway,
Where
I
am I
think
at?
he launched it, and then we
This,
bought it.
right?
Yep, that's our meme coin. We own it now, and we love this coin because we met on this coin. The three owners of Trimaera were investors, early investors in X meme, and we uh, we met in the Telegram room, and it was formed from there. So when we decided to launch Trimaera, and it has 9 different divisions, and one of those divisions is meme coins, and Trimaera is all about education. There will be a launch of Trimaera, and we'll really get into it. But the basis for Trimaera is putting the investor or the community member first, highlighting trust and transparency, creating that atmosphere on the blockchain. Um, and one of the divisions is meme coins, and part of the meme coin division is different things that are required for a meme coin to be considered trustworthy. Through, I'll have very different perspectives on what's trustworthy and what's not, but this is our version of trustworthy that I find a lot of other community members resonate with, right? So there's
Mm.
many ways to build trust. This is my way. And so Xmeme has had quite the challenge because when it was launched, we weren't involved in the we were involved as far as community members, right? We weren't involved with any of the top of it. We were at the bottom. So the process in that being launched, they gave out bags to influencers that, ended up waiting until the price went high, and then they dumped their bags, and now it's a big, what the optics look like, a rug pull. We were in the DMs with Crypto Asset Guy, and he gave us his wallet address.
Mm.
This was the first formation, or the first token that we were rescuing that we didn't know we were rescuing, right?
Mm.
So when we started asking these questions to the developer, that's when we realized, like, these are the questions that we should have been asking to the developer before we got involved,
Right.
right?
Mm,
Yeah.
How do you learn lessons? You
yeah.
learn them the hard way, right?
Yeah. Hard
And
knock.
but what we learned, just like with what was the one? It's actually not even on that list, is it? The burn one. Geez, Everburn. Everburn
Oh,
was not a rug pull either. It is actually on this list. I'm gonna have to update that. But it was a mathematical problem that the developers didn't see. So it ended up
oh,
tanking, but it wasn't to the fault. It wasn't malicious. It was just they were bad at it, right? And that's another
X
thing that
Cloud.
Trimaera is
Maybe
gonna
was that it?
fix.
Uh, well, we got the gang in here. How about we bring in
Oh,
the rest of the
I
folks?
went too long, didn't I?
No,
Okay.
not at all. Not at all. But I think everything you're saying, I know the rest of these guys would love to join in the conversation. So I'm just going to start bringing everybody in. Okay.
Yeah, bring them
I'm
in. It's
not
gonna
going
feel like
away. I'm just making sure my plug is plugged in. So I'm not
it's gonna
going
feel like
away.
a
I'm just
space. Holy shit, Lady K! That's
Hello, my
awesome.
friend.
What's up, Toasty? It's so crazy to see you guys. Oh man, that's so funny. Wait till we see each
I,
other in person. That's gonna be
uh,
Yes,
awesome.
will be a good
I'm
day.
I'm gonna say this. We're gonna. I want you guys to go around the room. I want to welcome you. I think we all need to mute our mics unless we're talking because there's some feedback going on. So if we do that, let's see, where is it happening?
I'm muted.
Um,
It's Toasty.
somebody doesn't have an
there.
earbuds. I can tell.
Yep.
Somebody doesn't have an earbuds. That's what it is.
It's
Yep.
Toasty.
Yeah, if you don't have earbuds, you're gonna be echoey. So keep your mic muted. But so I would love for you guys to go around the room. I'm so excited that you guys are here. We have well, you guys have met Optimistic Prime Miss Amanda Jones before, but tonight we have Lady K and Toasty, who a lot of you guys have seen on Spaces. And let's start with Lady K. Introduce yourself, Lady K, and welcome to the show.
Hey guys, I'm happy to be here. And I'm Lady K, and I'm a crypto enthusiast, and I do spaces, and I'm also a real estate broker, and I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a lot of spaces, and I was listening to you the other day, particularly on one of Stone Spaces, and I told Amanda, I'm like, she knows what she's talking about. Like you've gotten, and I've heard you on Spaces for a long time now, like because I've kind of since I started meeting the Reaper crew and Kelly and all the Toasty and all you guys, I've heard you in Spaces, and I've kind of watched you evolve or listened to you evolve over the past, like, maybe year, 9 months, whatever, somewhere in there. And you get better and better and better. And I was listening to you the other day talking to these guys with their projects, and I'm like, she's nailing the questions that I want to be schooled enough to know to ask. And so I'm like, I want her to come on the show. So kudos to you for educating yourself and being able to ask these questions that are very necessary. So I'm excited for you. Yeah,
Oh, thank
yeah.
you. I don't think people realize this though, but I used to hold weekly calls with projects. The bear market hit, and the community kind of just scattered on top of like problems, which every 6 months there's a new problem within the community. And so I kind of just like quit. Like nobody cared anymore. The market was down, nobody was buying. And then it just sort of went, all right, let's wait around till it moons, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a great job,
But
and it's clear
isn't
you're
that
respected.
weird? Isn't that weird though? Because when, if you're really following digital assets and cryptocurrencies, when the market is down, that's when you're supposed to buy, yeah? So it sounds weird to me.
uh, I think people hit investor fatigued. I mean, how
That's
much more
fair.
can you buy and not watch it go up before you go, okay, I need to rethink my strategy here, And
That's fair.
also a lot of projects weren't really coming to the forefront. So it was a lot of just the same projects that everyone kind of knew. Nobody was really newly building as well. So there was a void there as well.
That's
Hmm.
fair. That's very fair.
Interesting. Well, before we get into deep discussion, I want to have Toasty introduce himself. Let people kind of know who you are, and welcome to the show, Toasty. This is your first time on Dipito. We appreciate you.
Well, this is my first time live, so now you get to see my face. Kristen suggested the sunglasses, so yeah. I loved what Stone was saying because I kind of want to just touch on that. Like, I feel that he's just trying to do positive spaces, and I feel there's a lack of that. Like, I don't want to talk negative, but I feel that he's doing great things. I work a day job, so I can't always make your space. Sorry. But I see Kristen there a lot. And, I just want to, support everybody that's doing positive spaces, supporting XRP Ledger, projects. And, it's not about follower count. That's the last thing I care about. I just want to support everybody out there like Melissa, Kristen, Amanda, Keda, Stone, all of you guys, and everybody listening. It's all boats rise together, right?
I appreciate you very much, Toasty. Tell people a little bit about yourself, just so that they know who you are. You're Toastman Tech on X, and you also have your own spaces. And I think you've been involved in some of Stone's spaces. I know you come to Keda's. So just for the Dipito audience, I just wanted them to have the benefit of knowing who you are, because you're also connected with the Reaper Crew. So.
Yeah,
That's what we want to hear about.
Well, yeah, I'll plug my space real quick. I assembled what I feel is a really awesome team. I have William Hughes of Zoj and Metaman X. You guys might know them. We do a regular space every Sunday, 6 p.m. CST, called Toast on Tech. We kind of had our first official, meetup the other night, and I honestly had no idea. Many of you were in the room. Patrick came in and then launched our meme token Grim live in the space. That was just absolutely wild. This would be a good one for Kristen to jump in on. Remember that 15 minutes of panic before we realized what was going on?
Oh, yes, I do. We were like all braced. The room was deflated. We were bracing ourselves for the 6 months of sell-off pressure, and then we found out that some wallet burned 93% of the supply, and we were all hyped up yet again.
That's why we need Stone spaces with the people, so we even understand what that means.
Yeah, so I was in another room just no, I wasn't even in. I was just a speaker in the room, and I was doing something else. I was playing, or not playing. I was setting up a wallet for something for a project, and they said, "Oh shit, is that Grim?" And they said, "Is that the Reaper crew?" And I looked at the screen and I saw it, and I was like, I could not open up a wallet fast enough to get this. I was like, "Are you the Reapers are launching a fucking meme coin? Are you serious?" And like, I spilled things. I like dropped things off of my desk, and I opened it up and I bought it. I couldn't get in there as quick as I wanted to, but I was like, oh my God. And then I was still in the space and we're talking about it. And somebody's like, somebody just burnt like 90% of the supply. And I was like, shit. Now I had to go to Uphold and sell an asset so I could get more XRP so I could buy more. I was like, this thing is going to go crazy. And you just know, like, just like with DS is all the money, right? You just know certain development teams are going to make sure it lasts because they're already here, right? And that's what you need as a community. And these guys already have a name for themselves. I'm like, man, that is a no-brainer. Like,
Yeah, I
if
just got
anybody,
into that all the money. I just got into that all the money. Yeah.
and what he's doing with it, and like the fact, like he's doing everything right with it. With
Yes.
what he has to work with, like you can't touch that. And yeah, I so I have a I don't I can't put in a bunch of money with every project coming out, because eventually somebody's going to want to see my wallets, and they're going to want to see if I ever bought their coin. And it's
Yeah.
like, and if I don't have it, it's going to be an optic thing. So I created a project wallet, and every time I have one on there, I'll put 10 XRP in it. $5 to somebody, right? Like, you would give $5 to somebody that needed it on the street. Why not give it to $5 that says he's trying? That's the way
Yeah.
I view it. It's
I
not
love it.
financial advice. That's just the way I view it, right? And then as you get to know them, you buy a little bit more. As you get to know the Blue Umbrella Company and like the story behind it, you're like, it doesn't even see, to me, a lot of these don't matter as far as financial investment. I'm investing in the person. And if I have their token or I have their NFT, I'm gonna I'm motivated to keep track of that person, right? And to me, the value in this world is relationships, and the amount of energy and time you put into a relationship is going to build something that you can't buy, like health, right? You can view relationships just like you can view health. And the amount of time and energy you put into your body, the amount of time and energy you put into that relationship, the things you can grow together are amazing. And I mean, if you're in any of my spaces, you're gonna, you know where I'm coming from, because I will start to talk and get off on these tangents where they all sound the same because I'm sending the same freaking message. Like, if you spend enough time with me, you're either going to get on board if you weren't already, or you're going to leave, because you're gonna get the same like feeling every
Consistency.
time you're around me. So I think that so I rub some people the wrong way, and that's great. That means that you're not in my circle. So if like, that's a pretty easy indicator. Like, if my personality like annoys you, then cool, see your way out, because
Yeah.
this is what you're gonna get every day. You know?
Uh,
Um,
Amanda, you've been hopping in. He's inspired you so much to get out of bed way earlier than you probably would normally want to. But you've been on his spaces in the morning, and what has been your experience so far in Stone's morning coffee and crypto spaces?
Or not go to sleep like last night. Yeah, no, it's incredibly motivating to have somebody who has such drive and who wants to help. Like, my whole life I've been searching for you people. I was on a spaces this afternoon and I got a little bit, I was moved. Like, I could feel it come, bubble up inside me. Like, I really have been praying nonstop for 5 years since I started building on the blockchain, and specifically since last November when I built the XOM token that I don't, it's not for sale. It's just sitting there on the ledger with the birth date of 11/11. And so I've been really looking for the people, and I found the Reaper crew, and they're incredible, but they're doing their own thing, and I have goals, I have goals to be on those lists, but they have pillars, and they have things, gates you have to pass through in order to accomplish those things. And they only have so much time, and so finding people who are willing to openly share their information. And I truly believe this is where, like, my husband always talks about how copyrights and patents, this is what is wrong with the world, is that every thought is built on other thoughts. And so being able to have people come in and share their knowledge so freely, and then create an environment. Like, I ran away from spaces. I showed up in spaces 6 months ago, and I started being part of X again in the crypto sphere. And I went in a couple spaces and I was just like defending myself, and it was just not conducive to like growth and creation. And stone spaces are just something else. Like you saying today, how so many people come in and it's the first time talking, and I just love that environment. Like, I think we rise together, like Tosi just said, all boats rise together. And I truly believe, we are the way, we are the plan. It is us. This is the psyop all the whole time, was like, don't pay attention to you. And yeah, I'm just so grateful to you, Stone. And it's so exciting that you're here. And, it's exciting that you're on Melissa's show. And yeah, it's just been really it's been a thrill for 2 weeks to just learn everything and have so many new people to want to contact. And yeah, it's pretty incredible.
I was wondering if we could go around the room and just really, like, you know, a major goal for the second half of the show, and asking Lady K and Toasty and having Keda here and Amanda and of course Stone. I invited all of you here together because every one of you are through your actions, you are fostering community. You are building community. And I for the folks, there's 97 people watching the show tonight. Thank you guys for coming to dip a toe. Please like, share, and subscribe. Uh, please explain, you know, just your thoughts on this, and maybe we can inspire those 97 that are listening to join us in this community. So I kind of want to go around the room and touch on what you think are the most important reasons why we need community, and what it means once a good strong community is built. Where do you see this going? I mean, to me, I think we're going to be unstoppable. But if we could kind of maybe start with Stone, and we'll just kind of go around to Keda and Toasty and Lady K, and then Amanda, that would be great.
Uh, Thank you. So the reason the 93 people should join my space on X is so you can find out what crypto is, what the future of finance, what does it mean when people say the future of finance? Like, let's start there. Like, come on the show and be like, what does that even mean? I mean, we can start with gold and silver. We can start at BRICS. We can start at the SWIFT banking system. I can explain to you what the problem is and what the answer is. A lot of people don't understand that there's a financial crisis. A lot of people don't understand that there's a broken system. They have no idea they don't know what SWIFT means. They don't know what the SWIFT banking system is, and they've lived it their whole life because that's just the infrastructure that they've transacted on their whole life. They have no idea that it breaks down all the time. They have no idea the amount of money that is made off of them making a transaction. And the amount of money that is there can now be there. It can be theirs. And I can explain that to you. I can explain it to you in a way that doesn't make you feel stupid. I can be the dumbest person in the room for you and ask the questions like, 9 times out of 10, I know the answer that I'm asking the question for. And that's the great thing because somebody came up, if they come on my show and they try to make something up, well, no, I'm here to make sure that the truth is heard. And you can't have a community built on lies. You can't have a community built on myth, but you can have a very solid community built on truth and honesty and integrity. And the thing that we are solving with Trimaera is the lack of all those things. The DYOR bullshit. Do your own research. Okay, where? Where can I do my own research? Because that's what I'm doing here. I came to this spot to do my own research, and now I have to take whatever you give me as my research, right? The problem is the person delivering that research is making money, wants to make money. So they're going to give you the research that makes you spend money that ends up in their pocket. So when you come to my space, you're going to hear about developers that don't care about your money. They care about what they're building. And you're going to hear about what they're building, and they're going to be telling me, and you're going to decide whether or not that's something that you believe in. And if you believe in it, I'll show you how to invest in it. And I'll tell you how not to invest in it. I'll tell you how to join a community and become a productive member and raise equity in that product that you like, in a way that supports that product and yourself. And like more and more people are starting to understand that what they've been doing with their dollars isn't working. And more people are starting to wake up to the truth of the mainstream media and all the lies there. And if they're lying in the mainstream media, then where am I doing my research, right?
Such
Because
great
you
points you're
you
making.
you spent your whole life doing your research, eating your dinner in front of the news, doing your research, listening to these people give you the information that's your research. That's what you've been trained to do, is to listen to somebody market their product to you. And guess what the news was doing the whole time? They were marketing a product to you. They were directing you into a system where they can take advantage of you. And more people are waking up to that. And so they're finding X, and they're finding people that are talking about things that resonate with them. And then they're learning about vibrations, and they're learning about all these things that have been suppressed from us for so long. What else is there? How about your money? How about your money has been working against you your entire life? Look at my checking account. Well, don't look at my checking account. There's like $15 in there probably. Like, if anybody were, I make jokes about it all the time. If anybody were to audit me, go ahead. Like, I own nothing. Like, you look at, like, you're probably surprised how I'm paying my electric bill, but I am living on nothing now that I quit that job. So it's kind of a bad of example nowadays, but before, anytime I got a paycheck, it went right into crypto. It went right into a digital asset. It went right into something that was going to provide something in the future that is unfathomable at this point. Like, none of us even understand. And the energy that we were talking about earlier, where with First Ledger coming in, the way things would work out. When I quit that job, the First Ledger didn't exist. The market was stale. There was nobody talking about anything. Like Lady K said, she used to host spaces. The same thing that I'm doing now, she did before when there was energy there. I quit Bosch and I brought that energy to the ledger. I don't care what you guys say, because there wasn't anybody around. And then all of a sudden, First Ledger, I'll tell Vet, he doesn't even listen to me anymore. But I tell you, get a message to Vet. And I think that I inspired him some way through the cosmos to help bring that thing, because I needed somebody to talk to. I
He's a
think
good
that's why they
guy.
created. I think that's why they created First Ledger. It was all
Yeah,
planned. So
maybe. Who knows? Keta, what do you think? What are
Well,
your
when it
words of
comes to
wisdom?
you, first and foremost, you already kind of know how I feel about community because you're part of my community. And I think it's really important in especially because we are so early and all so very new. This is such a new space for us, the digital asset and cryptocurrency space. And when you are coming into this, like myself, who I can truthfully say I am not a techie. I'm not at all. Um, and for me to be able to come into this space and learn as much as I can, and meet the people that I am able to meet and talk to in this space, and be able to, in some instances, influence in some ways, and not on the negative side, just really trying to make sure that as people come into this particular realm that they understand what they're getting themselves into, and then the things that are around it that they need to have in place in order for them to move appropriately through this space. Knowing who to and not to listen to, because a lot of people will try to, as Stone would say, is they're trying to steer you in a direction that you are really not trying to go if your purpose is to have a better standpoint in life, right? And certain things that are common sense things, but you don't think about when you're in this space, right? Like total mindset, like having the right mindset to be in this space, understanding the different dynamics that happen in this space that may be opposite of what you're used to in the regular world, right? Like, for instance, we talked about this last week. Like, people don't even think about the fact that when normally you see, traffic lights, right? And green means go and red means stop, right? Well, in the crypto space, it's different. Green means, hey, hold on a second. Don't buy here because this means it's going up, right? And when it's red, it means it's going down. And that's when you should be buying because you buy low and you sell high, right? Now, as I'm coming into this space, I'm looking at green like, hey, that's a good thing. Let's go for it. And I'm like, no, because that's the way you get wrecked. That's the exact way you get wrecked. Because as soon as you put your money in, that's when it becomes liquidity for somebody else to take out. You know what I mean? So those things, and that's completely opposite of what you would normally see. So for me, my community is what helped me understand that. My community, when I started getting into this space, it was the community that rallied around me when I lost my digital assets because I just was a novice and didn't understand all of the ins and outs of the industry, right? And you won't know all of the ins and outs because it's not for you to know every single little piece, but at least enough for you to be able to navigate through. And
Yeah.
then also to have the right mindset so that you, once you do get to the place that we're looking to be, that you don't get caught up in the shenanigans that are in the world. And then the next thing you know, you're stuck because now you've been targeted. Now you don't feel safe because people are looking at you. Yeah, we know you got that digital assets and we coming after you.
Mm.
So, those are things that I look at in this instance. So I'm going to give you the dose of truth and maybe some commonsensical things that you may not think about. It doesn't mean you don't have common sense. It just means that in this space, you may not have the common sense for this.
Yeah.
And maybe some of those thought processes are things that you might need to hear just so that you can keep yourself in a good space. So that's my thought process. And I think that community is important. The other thing too is this community is small. Like don't let them fool you and make it seem like, this community is huge because it's not, right?
Mm-mm.
And in this instance, the people that are in this room and the people that are in this community are the people that you are going to resonate with because they're going to understand your struggle. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
understand what you had to do to get where you are when this goes where it needs to go. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think that's important because we as a community are super duper strong. And that means that we can make the dent in the universe that were meant to do. Because there's no reason for anybody to believe that if you're in this space, that you weren't chosen to be
New Mindset wants to know who the hell this Keda lady is.
here.
I want to prep everybody. I don't know if everyone knows who uh, Crypto for Life 68J. Um, he is going to pop in probably within the next 5-10 minutes or so. He was able to kind of set up and go to a private premiere of XRP Unleashed, and he's gonna pop in and talk about it for a second. And then he has to dip out, but I don't know what time he's going to pop in, and so I just wanted to give you guys the heads up. Toasty, what are your thoughts on this whole meaning of building community? And what do you think, my friend?
Well, friend, I mean that's literally why I'm here. Is again, it's not about follower count and like Stone. I found him as I seen Lady K was in his space a few weeks ago, and I love what he's doing. And I started doing spaces as well. To me, it's literally just all about growing my network, growing everybody else's here's network. Because all boats rise together, right? And it's more than anything, I want to have like a town square type of space. We want to cover topics, but I literally want anybody, even you, Melissa, to feel free to come up and ask a question because there's no stupid questions, right? The space is very, very complicated. Like I get Karma on a lot, and he can really dive into the mechanics, and that's why I love chatting with him. And Stone's out here pushing the meme coin. That's a big craze right now, and we had a crazy launch of Grim on my space the other night, like just insane. It's I yeah. I'll just stop there. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not the
Let me
talker.
clear up one thing. I don't push the meme coins. I follow the energy. So I was not X meme was the first meme coin that I ever purchased. No, and well, that's not true. It's the first meme coin I purchased on the XRP ledger. would be a better way to put it. And it's the first meme coin that I got involved in Telegram, and I got involved in the community behind it. So that's like when I say it's the first meme coin I invested in, it's the first meme coin I invested my time and my energy into. Um, there are other ones that I've put money in, but um, uh, I've so when I say that energy attracts energy, put the good out into the world, do good, be good, all those things. When First Ledger came in, that solidifies or that justifies. I've been awake a long time. What does it do? It validates that. It validates that because Jason was trying to do this thing, there was no energy in it, and then all of a sudden these meme coins came in, and there was a ton of energy. But what was lacking? It was a ton of energy. It was a ton of energy going every direction. There was no guidance on any of it. There were no guardrails in place. They purposely didn't put the guardrails in place so that it would be such an influx and of just a frenzy, right? So now that created an environment that I was already established in for education. Now there's all these investors that have this ledger in their face and they don't know how to use it. They know how to push a green button and a red button. That's what First Ledger taught them. The like how to train a 60-year-old how to use an iPhone. Make it simple. How to train a toddler on how to use crypto. Make it simple. Let's make these little paper memes that cost nothing to make. You can make massive amounts of them, and then we'll just see what happens, right? Lottery tickets. Everybody get a lottery ticket. Here you go, right? And now before it all just makes a big old pile of trash on the floor that all of us in the industry have to deal with cleaning that shit up, why not just stop it? Like we're 2 weeks in. So anybody listening to this right now, it hasn't even really started, right? There's like 3 or 4 projects that are actually doing something. And the only reason they're doing something is because there's people like us saying, hey, hold on, come here. This is how you build something, right? There's a couple of them, like Alex, I'll plug him, who has a great head on his shoulders, very business minded. He's like 26 years old and full of fire. He held a space today for 4 hours, didn't even blink. Like the kid is, I say kid, he's a grown man, but the young adult is like on fire, motivated, building a community, building a group of these meme coins. And I am not a meme coin guy. I am an energy guy, and these are projects that need guidance. And I'm a project developer, right? Like I am a project organizer, not crypto. And I was explaining this in the space the other day, like it could be any project, and I'm going to help you figure out how to make it go the way you want it to go, the trajectory that you want. And if it isn't in line with the vision that I want, then I'll just step away. And I offer that to these guys and they crave it, right? And now all these investors that are about to get wrecked or already in the process of getting wrecked by these pump and dump paper meme coins with nothing behind them except a green button and a red button, right? There's a crop of them that is surfacing that's pulling the investor's attention, and I'm grabbing that attention and putting it into a place of education for free, right? And when you offer up education, which is the most valuable thing on the planet, besides health, when you offer that up for free, the responsible people that actually have money to invest will go there because I am those people. And those people want to put their money into something that is worth their time. And now they have a place. Coffee and crypto. Start your day there, and I'll direct you to the next guy, or we'll come up with the conversation live, a very live, organic conversation. We'll come up with the next topic, and we'll solve that one, or we'll reach out and figure out which developer knows. And you'd be surprised how many developers will offer up their not their tech, but their mindset and their ability to answer and remove roadblocks for you for free. Like there are so many good people in the XRP ledger that are willing to build this thing. Because like the what Toasty was saying, all ships rise together. That's what I've been saying. Like we all rise together. Like as long as everybody's project is quality and a nice shiny staple when the new community member walks in the room and sees, they're going to look around and be like, there's a lot of quality projects here on the XRP ledger. I'm going to stick around. If they walk in and see a bunch of paper on the floor, a bunch of investors wrecked laying all over the floor, they're not going to want to stick around to that. They're not even going to want to, they're going to have no idea where to go, where to turn. So that's what it's up to us to create that. And we are creating the future, just like Optimistic says, like we are the answer, us collectively. Um, yeah, so
What is it? The only way out is through. Is what I
that's
want to say.
there you go.
I want to welcome 68J to the stage. 68J's, you still drinking that coffee?
Nice.
Oh, y'all caught me. Y'all caught me getting my fix. My bad.
How many minutes do we have you for? Because we're going around the room, and I don't want to cut in front of Lady K and Optimistic Prime, unless you have literally.
Oh, I want to hear. I got to hear about XRP Unleashed. Let's do it.
Right, then
First of all, I've got about 25 minutes. I'm taking my wife on another date night at
Nice.
7 p.m. But and shouts out to Lady K. It's good to see you, my friend. Always been a part of the family. Always, it's definitely good to see you again. And Optimistic Prime, Melissa, and the two gentlemen, Stone and Toasty. Pleasure to be here.
thank you so much.
Nita's here too.
So Lady K says basically what we've been talking about, Jay, is the importance of building community, which also we wanted to touch because we've been talking about meme coins for the last couple of minutes in the culture that was brought in by this new bot on the XRP ledger and the frenzy that it's kind of caused. And we are ambassadors for the Shikaka coin. And I never actually got involved with any kind of memes at all until you asked me to be part of the Shikaka coin.
That's
and,
right.
and I must say, I it's helping me learn about tokenomics and what to look for when you're investing. So I've learned that there's much more to memes than just a picture.
Absolutely.
If you delve further into them, and the fact that not all memes are created equal, and some of them can go on to do something better than what you thought, like Doge, for example.
That's
Who
right.
knows what that's going to end up being? So anyway, if you would please, you had an experience last night or the night before. You got to see the XRP Unleashed film.
I did, but I want to go back to what you were talking about as far as Shikaka. If you don't mind, I'll say a couple things about that. And that is that number one is I respect everyone who has memes. I think memes. There's different types of memes. I think for me, what we're doing with this project is an extension of who I am. It's an extension of what representing my background, my connections. I really fought hard, even with having a YouTube channel. I didn't want to do it because, being in the public's eye as long as I did for 26, 27 years. But I love it. I embrace it. It's a part of who I am. And then Shikaka came from me, saying this crazy saying, which is Shikaka. I didn't want to call anyone's project shitcoins, so I just came up with the word Shikaka, not to be offensive. And my millionaire buddy Mike O and I, who we invest in movies, we invest in real estate, we invest in a lot of things. He said, "Man, why don't we do something with that?" And it's funny because I had Metal Law Man, I had Fred Repulsely, I had people coming on my show, and they were like 68J Shikaka, and I'm like, what the freak? Like it started catching on, and so once Mike kind of got with me and we started talking about why we would do this and the fact that it was more of a for us by us. It was more of, I know there's a lot of people wish they could get into movies. I know there's a lot of people wish they could go and do some things financially that maybe they can't. And what if we utilize this meme, this sophisticated meme to do that, to go out there and invest in these things, and that way there's a return that comes back to the community. And so we self-funded everything. We didn't do any pre-sales. We started getting mentored. We started reaching out to people who are really good at memes and have had experiences. There's a lot of things we liked, but even way more things we didn't like. And so we've built this at a pace where we haven't really been marketing heavily yet, because we wanted to dot our I's and cross our T's. We had a movie that we were invested in. This is my second movie, actually third movie, and I've got other movies that we're going to be a part of as well. So I said, why don't we utilize this time to connect Shikaka? So Shikaka is actually being written into this movie that we leave for this month. It was actually postponed a little bit, but we go out to Canada and start filming. There's a lot of big stars in it. We just found out that two of the people that are doing videos for the movie is 50 Cent and Snoop Dogg. The movie has been the coin has been written into the script twice. We've got some scenes in Snoop's video where he'll flip the coin and it goes into a virtual deal into the camera. So we're doing things the right way. We're not trying to shill. I barely even talk about that. We've been talking about that for like the last week, because we wanted to make sure everything was in place. And then tomorrow at 5 p.m. I've got one of the greatest NBA legends, Rafer Austin, that played 11 years for the Rockets. He's coming on as ambassador. We're talking about that tomorrow. So we're just doing that. We're putting everything in place, and then once we do that, we'll continue to build out. So that's Shikaka. XRP Unleashed.
Can I just say that I'll be rubbing elbows with these elites as an ambassador of Shikaka Coin myself? I'm just saying.
Well, we're also excited that we just signed and sent out a check for an exchange that will be. I've got to do a couple of KYC things tonight or tomorrow, and then that'll be up as well. So we're self-funded. We're really excited, man. And the thing that's really exciting is the community and the ambassadors, and we chose to go on the base network. It's not to say we can't do other things, but at the time that was a decision that Mike O made, and we happy we did. But there's also a lot of excitement and hype around obviously XRPL, and so we've been talking about that as well. But yeah, so that's that. Any questions about that? Otherwise, I'll move on to XRP Unleashed.
Yeah, what's the ticker? No, what's the ticker?
The ticker is SHKK. You'll see these three amazing women here: Optimistic Prime, Keda, and Melissa. And we've got guys who work for the government. We've got highway patrolmen. We've got government. We've got firefighters. Everybody that's somehow connected to my life. No one's hiding behind an emoji, because it's real money. We're not looking for anything from anybody else. Me and Mike have made a very good living in what we've done before. We didn't come to YouTube or do Shikaka for money. We had that before we got here. So we're very blessed and very fortunate, and it's been a hell of a ride. So
is that on the ledger?
That is on
XRPL
Base Network. Base Network.
Base, okay.
Yes, sir. And so now getting into the documentary last night. I was very privileged and honored to had been asked to be in the documentary. I was actually in it a few times. My interview was done right before Joe Katz, so Joe Katz went in right after I did, it's become something. I remember when Chris called me up and he said, "Jay, is becoming more of a crime documentary type thing." And so my part, which was filmed about 30 minutes or so, was predicated more so off of Heart, which is who I'm. Me and my wife have traveled the world, giving back, building orphanages. So I was coming from the perspective of crypto being an opportunity for people to dream again. So many of us give up hope, life, children, careers, whatever, and we stop dreaming, right? Responsibility gets in the way and we stop dreaming. And so I said, for me, crypto is one of the fairest forms of capitalism, and the opportunity for anybody, regardless if you're 6'8" like me and played pro ball, or if you do this or do that, or could sing or throw a football, is anybody can be great at this. All you have to do is pay attention, do some research, and position yourself well, control those emotions, and have a plan. And so, that led into, again, being in this documentary. I was very honored to be a part of it. So they decided to release it in Las Vegas last night in front of the American Film Festival. I believe it was what it was called. They had it at the Palms Theater. The whole theater was shut down. There's people. It was hundreds of people from all over that were trying to sell their films from the industry. And so we watched it, and I'll tell you guys what. I'm also going to be in LA, by the way, watching it on the 19th, right after we get through shooting the 50 Cent video. But I was full of emotions, guys. I looked over at my wife at one point, because I'm a very emotional guy, and I got to a point where I just felt like I was angry, I was happy, I was vindicated, I felt robbed. It was just so much. I don't know if anyone studies as much as I do. My wife can tell you, she's in here right now. Shouts out to Jeanette, my queen. But I I study nonstop, and I'm just obsessed with this industry, because not just from a personal perspective, but the fact that I can look at an average person and say, man, you can be whatever you want to be if you position yourself right. And that to me is so special, because coming up in life, people had to watch me do things. They had to watch me play basketball, watch me have semi-pro teams that we own, watch me have car lots for cell phone stores and all. People couldn't do that, right? But I mean, it's not that they couldn't do that, but I just had a lot of opportunities. And so when I look at this, I go back to my family and say, man, look, this is your turn. This is something that you can do. And that's why I'm so passionate. So when I sat up there and I watched this documentary, it connected things that I thought I knew. It filled in gaps. I immediately felt so honored that I had Trimaera for my show. We got almost 80,000 views on that thing. And my show was shut down 3 times. I've been shadow banned because of how much I talk about XRP, but I don't care. I still do what I do. But I felt so proud. I felt so proud to be a part of this space, to be a part of XRP. It was crazy to think that these people aren't in prison, to see what Joe Lubin and some of these guys have done. Jay Clayton blatantly was told, and I know we've heard that, but they get into the details. They get into, we all look at Vitalik Buterin. When you think of Ethereum, that's who you think about. He's nothing more than a puppet. Literally, they took it away from him. He's nothing more than a puppet. And I didn't even know that. Like, I didn't even know, how deep this thing went into China. I knew that Charles Hopkinson started ADA, left there, and Dr. Gavin Wood, because Polkadot set me free financially. Let me just say that, even more so than I was. Polkadot was big for me, because when they did that redenomination from $300 to $3, I went all in on that thing. But what I can tell you, so I knew everybody had came from that partnership, but I didn't know why. They shared text messages, they shared receipts, documents. I don't even know why we have laws and rules in this country after watching that, and they got away with everything that I don't even know why they would lock one of us up for doing that. I mean, it really made you angry, because it's like they don't even play by the same damn rules that we play by. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I felt so much. I went when I was done, I got in front of Chris and I said, look, this is what I'm gonna tell you. As a business guy, as a guy who understands, law, I'm connected to a lot of people, celebrities. I said, if Kamala wins, you're in trouble. Like, if Kamala wins, I'm scared for you guys. I'm scared for you and Maya. I told them that because of what they exposed. And it's way more than the little clips that we saw at XRP, the Las Vegas. It's bigger than that. It's way bigger than that. And so they hit and then I'll tell you guys this. I could give everybody here $1 million and tell you to try to guess 5 times who they got this in front of, and you wouldn't even believe it if I told you. You'd call me a bull. You say you're full of shikaka. The word for shit or whatever. But you say I'm full of shikaka, because you wouldn't believe who they got this in front of. I'm gonna tell you right now, if who they put this in front of watched it as they say they did, the like the 3 or 4 people, it's bigger than Brad. It's bigger than. I'm going to stop right there, because I can't say what it is, but I know what it is, and I know who saw it, and I know who got it, and all I can say is God bless America, because if they follow through and if they do what based off what they've seen, it's going to be a lot of heads rolling. And if there's not a lot of heads rolling, the only thing that makes me doubtful is us knowing that Sam Bankman-Fried is in prison, and that we know that he did wrong, but they still withheld who got the money from the stolen money from the customers. That's the part they left out. And that just makes me not trust our system. And so even with this documentary, it's the only thing that makes me doubt if people are going to actually pay the price, because they only go after the people that they want to, and they give everyone else a free pass. And the other part that made me mad, and I realized that JP Morgan was making a coin, but for them to connect the dots and really, you realize that they purposely tried to destroy Ripple. I mean, they were showing these things where Ripple and XRP and Ethereum were going back and forth. They were showing that, and they got into the details of Jay Clayton getting warned. They got into the details of, like, I didn't even know. I knew that MoneyGram and Ripple had a partnership. I didn't know why it ended. I didn't know any of that. And then when they got into the details of explaining that, how they purposely were looking at Ripple and XRP and stopped everything. So when we hear about these appeals, when you watch this documentary, you won't be surprised that we've got these appeals. You will be surprised with how they've been getting away with this crap for so long, and how Trump is a big part of this now. It's crazy, and he will, if
my interest is peaked.
From what I understand, look, if he does what he's supposed to do, I think he's going to. I don't think we see 2026. I think he stops all this, and I think, if they put someone in place and he does fire Gary Gensler, I can't see anybody wanting that dark cloud over him. I think this all ends sooner than later. So, and obviously we can see what Bitcoin's done. There's nothing but air and opportunity up there. So yeah, I just felt very, very blessed and fortunate to have seen it. And I think you guys feel the same way.
Yeah. And I want to thank you. I kind of, I said something on Twitter, but I didn't say anything to the Dipper-toers, but Jay was at the premiere. And after it was over, he took the time out and called me and said, "You're in the movie, sis," twice. And
Yeah.
I was like, what? First of all, I just want to say, I'm shocked that they actually chose me to be in the movie. I was not expecting that at all. But what touched me is that you took the time out of your day when you're at the premiere to call me and tell me that. And, it meant a lot to me, and I really do appreciate it. And I also want to say thank you to, there's been a couple of other people that have reached out and said some things, and people that are watching me that I don't even know are watching me and rooting me on. And I just want you to know, you guys, that I love you. And thank you so much for supporting me. And it meant a lot to me, Jay. I really appreciate it.
Let me say this. As soon as I walked out, as soon as we were still in the theater, like literally walked out with the popcorns at and everything else. And I called you. And then when I got home, because I had to watch everything, I didn't go to sleep 2 wee hours. I contacted 90% of the people, because 90% of the people or 85% of the people in XRP Unleashed have been on my show. They've been interviewed by me. So I reached out to Fred Repulsey, Metal. I mean, everybody, Mickle, Zach Rector, Lewis Jackson, all my boys. We all have a personal relationship, and I let them know. I said, man, I just because sometimes with the things that we've all gone through, sometimes just a kind word or just letting people know how you felt about or feel about how they did, and sometimes people just need to hear something positive. And so I took it upon myself to contact them all and let them all know you guys were amazing. And I'm telling you, some of them act like little kids, man. They just Jimmy Valley, all of them. Linda P. Jones was just beside herself, and so So I thought that was very important.
Well, I'm going to the Washington showing, and you have me so pumped. I know Toasty's going to Houston. I was trying to get Stone to come up to Washington. There's still time.
Well, if you guys, I tell you guys what, go to my Crypto for Life page and watch today's live, and you probably won't sleep tonight. My excitement was just overwhelming, and I've been contacted by everyone, from Jake Claver to everybody else. So obviously I did a good job of explaining my excitement. So
you pumped it up. You pumped everybody up for sure. One thing I wanted to ask you is that, there was major concerns from some people in the XRP community. It kind of tended to split them in half between they're going to ruin, the XRP community from this, and they're, pitting against the other chain and all of this kind of stuff. And I think people are going to be a bit surprised that it's not really about that, right? I mean, everything you just explained doesn't say anything about the actual blockchain. It's the people that they investigated and they got this information. And so I just wondered if, as you saw the film, would you walk away thinking, well, this is a divisive film, or is this is going to get the crypto community really thinking at a deeper level when it comes to what we're working against, really? I mean, who's working against us, I guess.
I think for me, it just exposes the fact that they missed it, they didn't like it, and they've done everything in their power to try to catch up and give big money the opportunity to do that. That's literally what I felt doing this whole thing. This wasn't about Ethereum or trying to take down Ethereum. It's got nothing to do. This is about us as Americans being cheated. And once revered as the innovation capital of the world, now being the laughing joke, and you understand why. And this is about a bunch of big guys and powerful people, women and guys, that just they missed a boat. They didn't believe. A lot of them was calling it battery acid and cancer, and this was their opportunity to rape the industry for as much as they can and try to position themselves. This is what it's all about: greed. This whole thing is about greed, and it's about justice. And nothing in that documentary felt like they were trying to hurt somebody. It's just like, you know what, you guys have raped the community and cheated a lot of people, and they just think they're higher than they took checks, they got paid, and it's just there's no repercussions. And so I just think they did a great job of exposing the corruption, and it wasn't, I don't think it was a personal attack. I think if anything else, the reason I felt that they had to be careful and Trump had to win was because of what they said and how they said it. They left no, I mean, it was unfiltered. I mean, you got if someone watches this from a legal standpoint, a lot of people should go to prison. That's how I look at it. A lot of people should go to prison. And there's, I mean, look, treason, China, if someone tells you, I'll give you $500,000 and we'll give you a blank check, and it comes from China to the Ethereum Foundation, and everything, Ethereum is at the center of everything, the foundation. And it's not the coin or what it does and the people who build on it, it's the people behind it that are just straight up greedy. And when you look at the fact that it's not even decentralized, like I'm sitting there looking at it like, what? They're still not decentralized? Because I didn't understand how the whole percentage and what had to happen for it to be decentralized. Dude, it's going to shock a lot of people. And I don't know if it's going to affect Ethereum at all. I don't know. I just don't know if there's going to be that kind of justice. But if things were done or if the law was upheld, there'd be a lot of people in prison. That's all I got to say. Yeah, a lot of people in prison. And
I got
a
question for you. Knowing America's love for the underdog and stories like Rudy, where we come back from the abyss, right?
What a great movie.
What do you think's going to happen when they watch this documentary and realize what the government, what the nefarious people above have been doing to us? What do you think is going to happen to the XRP ledger? I'm just saying, it's coming.
I just think that there's been this spring, right? I look at everything as a spring, and we have been kept at, like, I've talked to some people, Jake Clavers and Mickles and a lot of other people, Zach Rectors and Lewis Jackson's, all these guys, and we should not be at 50 something cents. That's a fact. We should not be at 50 something cents, and they've purposely, I've been in this since 2017, and it seems like every time we've had good news, whether it's the Him emails, whether it's Judge Annalisa Torres' decision on July 13th, 2023, anytime we've got good news, they've always come out with something to devastate the industry and bring us back down. And I just think all the games stop. And I think that what we saw XRP do back in the day when it jumped from cents all the way up to $3 and some cents, I think we will explode. And I think if they can cancel out this appeal, if they can just kind of get everything wiped out, and at that point Ripple basically stop the bullying, I think that those 1,700 NDAs that we don't know about start getting exposed. I think there's a reason that Grayscale and 21 shares and a Canary Capital, whatever it is, those companies, there's a reason that they're anxious. There's a lot of people that are anxious. And I think when those things start happening, I don't think we'll be able to. I think there's a point. I've heard rumors through Jake and some other people. There may be a time where when the it's kind of like Elon talking about Doge. I don't think that's a game. I don't think he's joking. I think he's for real. And I don't think Brad was joking when he said flip of the switch, or Rosie Real said the train has left the station. I think those are all said for a reason. And I think there's some things that Jake Claver said to me privately. He goes, look, I don't say this too much online. He goes, there's going to be a time where it's going to be hard as hell to even get XRP. And I do believe that day is going to come. And do I think all these evaluations, like, you guys got to remember, I interviewed everybody. I interviewed Jimmy Valley. I interviewed Molly Elmore. I interviewed the guy who worked with them and helped them with their evaluation, that even went as far as saying XRP could be $1 million. And I thought, people thought the guy was, he's won like a Nobel Peace Prize, some kind of prize or something, but he's like a mathematician, like genius. And Jimmy Valley said, look, you either think he's brilliant or you think he's crazy. And I think his name is XRP Lion or something like that. There's several guys like that.
Leon Backus is really a smart one too.
But when you give the numbers and if you guys pay attention to Lewis Jackson and you see how he broke down those numbers and Jimmy Valley, man, speaks so passionately about the numbers. When you look at the numbers, guys, the possibilities are just. But here's what's so funny. Here's what cracks me up: when people can't fathom that it's possible for XRP to get to 1,000, 10,000, but yet Bitcoin in its early days was 1,300 for a freaking dollar, 1,300 for a damn dollar. And then it got to where Da Vinci J, like 12 years ago or so, was talking about buy one Bitcoin for $1, just one freaking dollar. And so people lose fact, but now we're at 75,000. People can't even think that we can get to 1,000. They have no idea. But see, here's the thing that I try to tell people: name another asset that has been bullied and purposely suppressed than XRP, and you can't name one. And then follow that, name a company in all of crypto, and call me out if you want to, that has more in place than Ripple right now. Name one. If you can name it and prove it, I'll send you 10 grand right now. You can't do it.
They can't do it.
You can't do it.
You know what's
it.
interesting about that too, as well, Jay? And first of all, hi, because I didn't get a chance to say hi to you.
Hello, Keda. Hey, sis, how you doing?
I'm doing good. But the other thing that people don't realize is that every single XRP has 1 million drops, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if you think about that, that's for a reason. Because all I keep saying is, just imagine when a drop is worth $1. And if you can fathom that and think about that, because if you do the math, you know what that means.
Sometimes, Keda, the most basic things are the things that we forget about, the ABC of this whole thing. The same people who worked on Bitcoin created XRP to be better than in every way, and people keep forgetting that. So the fact that at one point it was actually number one for a very short period of time, but it was number one above Bitcoin, and then number two, and then obviously this whole thing happened, and it was very concerning. That the documentary actually explains all that. It shows all that, how they literally, this is a planned attack. And so when you watch that, you be like, this is. The sky's the limit, guy. I think XRP is going to be one of the greatest stories ever, because a lot of times when you miss something like Bitcoin, you don't get a second chance. I mean, you don't get a second chance to be a part of Amazon or Uber or Airbnb. For whatever crazy, blessed, godly reason, we've been given an opportunity for those of us who really get it to be a part of, in my opinion, one of the greatest opportunities in crypto, and it's staring people right in the face. Have you ever been somewhere where you looked at for something that's right in front of you, you can't see it? That's exactly what's happening with XRP right now.
And so this whole process, what did it do? It weeded out all the bad people and the people with bad character, and like there was such a bleeding process of liquidity and people holding this asset that those of us that are left, fortitude, character.
Yeah, it's sad, because they're not going to apologize for what they've done, and my heart goes out to everybody. I see, especially when you got a channel. I'm sure you guys see it as well. I feel so bad for the people who keep trying to say we've been 50-something cents for 4 or 5. And you have to. I know you're right, but why? And then when you can answer the why, you'll get the opportunity. Why?
But then think about it like this, from this aspect as well. If they're coming after it this hard, it lets you know how important it is. It really does. Think about it. Why would they be fighting for it to be able to control it so bad? You know what I mean?
What are they afraid of?
We also weren't even really meant to be in it. I mean, if you think about it, retail wasn't even meant to be in it. It was supposed to be just for the institutions and large corporations. So when you think about it, we really, I know I keep saying it, and I keep saying we're chosen for this, but it really is. If we are in it right now, because think about how many people you tried to tell about it.
I remember when I had Sean McBride on, who was on my show, formerly with Google and Amazon. I was trying to poke him because he was also formerly with Ripple, and off backstage he said some things, and I can't repeat, because when I got him on the show, I had to submit my questions to his attorney, just like with Shannon Thorpe, because everything she went through with that whole controversy with Wells Fargo. So I had to submit things to her attorney before having her on. But I can just tell you guys that it's not the things that we know, it's the things that we don't know. The things that we know is phenomenal with Ripple and XRP. It's the things that we don't know. The 1,700 NDAs and all these different things. It's mind blowing. And obviously Brad and Chris can't be like Elon and talk about the Department of Government. They can't say things, but I'm just telling you guys that the greatest opportunity, life changing opportunity is getting ready to happen. And the fact that, I'm not here to talk about Trump or Kamala or whatever, but as a father, as a husband, who's raised 6 kids and 6 kids at a very high level. We've got kids who are in doctor programs, kids who are, my daughter just got engaged to one of the guys from the Chicago Bears. Like, we've done really good with our kids. But one of the things that really, I've been having these conversations with family and friends. The thing that really bothered me is that as a country, as people, we've lost our morals. The way that they've been, this whole woke, this whole, I can't tell my kid is in elementary if he wants to be Bobby today and Sheila tomorrow. This whole guys can get a change and play in women's sports. I'm telling you, when Trump won last night, I felt like God came back into America. That's literally what I felt, that we have morals again, that I felt proud to be an American, because I was walking around the U.S. just going, man, thank God my kids are all older. Thank God they're all grown up. I couldn't imagine raising kids in today's crappy society, and Trump brought all that back again. And I know, look, I'm not saying he's perfect. That would be asinine to say something like that. I think his heart is in the right place. I think sometimes he says things like the last time when he said, put up the wall and keep the blah, blah, blah out. The way he said it was bad, but what he actually said was right. And that's the whole thing. And yeah, God bless America, man. And we needed this. We needed this as a society. We needed this as people who are invested in this life-changing opportunity with crypto, for sure.
I want to give Lady K an opportunity to chime in, because I know you have opinions on all of this. You want to jump in, Lady K?
Jay said it so eloquently. I feel like the lawsuit has always been a stall. I've watched every Congress hearing on digital assets for the last 3 years. I stream them on Twitter. And it's a stall tactic. And so I've come to the theory that when the event happens that they've been stalling for, they'll stop. And I don't know what that is. I think it's going to be hindsight. I'm hoping this XRP Unleashed fills in some gaps for me, maybe.
Same here, Lady K. What do you think, Amanda?
Hi, Jay.
Hey, hello, sis. How are you?
I'm great. I just, I truly believe in divine timing. And, just Stone, what you were saying about how, you jumped into the Mystic and then the first ledger showed up. Well, that's really Jay. Like, I met Jay through Maya. And then, I actually met all the ladies here and Toasty through Jay's show. And then, then I ended up here. So Maya is my catalyst. Maya is the first one that noticed me. And I wanted to be in XRP Las Vegas so bad because I wanted to go to sit in the little, booth and maybe, show my stuff. And so when Melissa said that she had, I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. And so when she called me yesterday, immediately, I literally have not slept since yesterday at 5 a.m. And so when she called me last night and she's like, Jay called me when he was still at the thing. And she didn't even know how to react. And I was like, you have to own this shit. You have to own this. You have to sit in it.
She didn't get one of those things where she was going like this. She actually got speaking parts. When they did her interview, they showed 2 parts. And I told myself, oh my God, they gave her really good parts in the documentary. So it was shocking. It was awesome.
I'm shocked. I didn't even know what the hell I said because it was all a blur. So I'm like, shit. I'm half going, was it really me or was it somebody else and he just thinks it's me?
I think they had hundreds of people go through that booth, and I think maybe 8 people maybe they showed that was in that booth, maybe 8 people, and some of them just said hello. But you got out of everyone in that booth, just watch and see. I think you got the most time out of everyone in the booth.
Oh God,
because she's amazing,
Melissa. You always know what to say.
I'm just being honest with you guys. If you're watching and tell me anything different, then let me know.
And I'll
call you when I come out of the theater, Melissa. Give us your number.
Crazy.
Yeah, I was saying to her
Yeah,
last
I'll
night
call
how
you
like
later
she's
today.
gonna have to wait this, she's not going to a premiere, neither am I. And I'm hoping, they're coming to Canada hopefully in the spring, hopefully. Then I can actually meet them. But I said, it's gonna be so interesting because Melissa is going to hear about it from everybody, but she's not going to see it until the 21st. And so we're going to actually see it at the same time. And so, I'll be honest with you, Jay, I was a little jealous, and Keita too. I was a little jealous when I heard you were going to see it before anybody else. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait.
You know what it is, sis? It's I've been around movies and stuff like that my whole life, and investing and stuff like that in those things. And this is not a YouTube or X Live. This is a part of history. Like, how many times have you watched a early Bitcoin documentary that looked like it was like ancient? There's nothing greater than this, and I don't know if there be anyone that actually does anything on this level. And I felt proud, man. I've been a part of a lot of things in my life, but I felt proud. And when I saw Melissa, I said, "Oh my God!" Like she's a part of history, like in a major way. It wasn't just a wave. I wouldn't have called her a wave. I wouldn't say, "Oh, sis, I saw you wave," but no, it was a big deal. And I'm very honored. I'm very honored, and I'm honored just to be a part of. I think I'm even more honored to be a part of XRP and this whole ecosystem of what Ripple's created with XRPL and everything else. Like, we're seeing it right now. This is our time. We've all been through it. This is our time, and I'm proud to be a part of the whole family.
Love it.
Can I add one more thing, Melissa?
Absolutely.
So one of the things, so my last name's Jones, and my husband's last name is Archer. And so I always, keep up with the Joneses, buy a bus and become an archer. And I was trying to come up with a tagline for the Archer clan, and it's pull back, aim, let go. And I felt for the past 5 years on the ledger that that's what we're doing, is that we're all meeting the highest timeline. We're pulling back, we're aiming our arrow. And when this flies, I can't wait. And I just as soon as Maya told me about the XRP Unleashed, I was like, oh my gosh, these are my friends. I share it on Facebook. These are my friends, guys. These are not just random people. These are the people I want to spend time with when I'm a millionaire. And I'm just so honored and so privileged. I feel just so moved. I get teary-eyed all the time. And to be here today, the day after November 5th, and Jay and I, so I was on Ladies Night with him for 6 weeks. And we were it was so great. And I loved it. And it was just, at one point, he launched the Chicago coin. And then I just got burnt out. I got burnt out from everything. And I just took the summer off. And I didn't even look at crypto. I didn't open my wallets. I didn't even I didn't do anything with my own tokens. I just took the time off. And then when First Ledger hit and started, this thing started rolling, and then Maya started making the announcements about when it was all coming out, and when I was like, oh, this is why I needed 4 months off, because it's pulling back, aiming, let go, and we were all on the similar trajectory. And I'm just deeply honored. And it's so nice to see you that if this conversation happened 2 days ago, it would be a totally different energy field. But today, of all the dates to come together with, on Melissa's show, and so sad that Simon isn't here, but we love you, Simon.
We love you, Simon.
And,
He's in the chat.
It's just so exciting.
What's really interesting is, and I'm not going to make this about, politics or anything like that, but, however, let me rephrase that. However, what I will say is for a person who has been a staunch Democrat all her life and basically voted just because that's what my family did, didn't really get into the politics, didn't really get into just understanding the process and how this works, and really taking onus and getting out there and researching and understanding, and not to mention just being sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know what I mean? I'm not going to vote for somebody just because of the fact that they're a woman or because, of their skin color or anything like that. You couldn't give me any policy that I could follow. But our friend Trump could. And when I took a look back at his presidency, I had more at that time than I do now.
Well, you know what, sis? I don't think Trump won because Democrats became Republicans. I'm not a Republican, and I'm not a Democrat. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm an American that believes in God. And I think what happened is American people stood up, not as Republicans, just as people, and said enough is enough. We looked around and we're looking at a world we don't even recognize. I'm 53 years old, and 50. I always say every year your life is like a chapter in your life, and I just didn't feel proud. I felt sick to my stomach in every way that you can think of. And so I think people just stood up and fought for a better tomorrow, fought for their family. And to me, it's kind of like the whole thing with XRP. I think that sometimes things don't happen when we want them to happen. If you think about it, if XRP, first of all, if XRP had never had this lawsuit, how many people that are in it right now would be in it right now? I don't think it would be the same. Not a lot of people would have big bags. Not a lot of people would have got in and positioned themselves. And through trials and tribulations, ups and downs and peaks and valleys and everything that we've gone through, struggle, a lot of us have developed relationships because of this damn lawsuit, because of this crypto asset being put down. I would have never known Optimistic Prime or World Be Free or Keda if it wasn't for us coming together talking about these issues. So I just think the greatest blessing in this whole thing will be the fact that lawsuit happened, and that, I don't want to, sound like cheesy, but the Phoenix is going to rise, man. And when the Phoenix rises, my God, we're on the right side of the equation. And then we look up and we will appreciate that money. We will appreciate that success. I don't think you appreciate if you luckily got into Shiba and it went up, because you'd probably be broken. And just like the guys in the NFL and NBA, I think we're going to appreciate every bit of this journey and the friendships. I tell you right now, I'm close to some of the people in crypto that I'm close to my own damn brothers and sisters, and that's a fact. That's a fact. So I'm just so honored, man, to be a part of this. And I'm just, for those people who get it, your time is coming. And I think the XRP community is going to, I hold various assets, but I think people who have been through this storm is going to be so. I can tell you right now, I'm a better person today because of what I've gone through for the last 7 years. And that's a fact. That's a fact.
Well, and that's what this whole part is, what you just described, what we were talking about before you got here, was the fact of the community. And why I chose everyone to be on this panel this evening is because every one of you has expressed the desire to bring the community together. And what you were saying earlier is just like, it reminds me of kids getting in trouble, like brother and sister. You'll be fighting and poking each other and stuff. And as soon as your ass gets in trouble, you all of a sudden become like, I love you. Like you're scared you're going to be in trouble, And it's kind of like, we've kind of gone through that, right? Like there's all this chaos and stuff. And those of us that are giving it attention, we're just all coming together and like, how can we protect ourselves? How can we empower ourselves? And I just want to thank you guys for just putting forth the effort.
Let me say this last thing. I got to get out of here because my wife is going to get mad. I don't want to be on the sofa. I promised her a date night. But let me just apologize, because in this space, you guys know this as well as I do. There's been a lot of controversy. It's been a lot of things that have played people against people. I remember I want to apologize to Lady K because she's an amazing person, amazing. And I know we got, not me and you personally, but there was just some things where I wanted you to be a part of the show and things didn't work out, and that's okay. What I'll just say is this, man. This is a beautiful thing, seeing all you guys together right now. It really touched my heart in a big way. Seeing everybody moving forward, and that's the way it should be. That to me is what this is all about. We're in a society that's not about nationalities or this and that or anything else. We're all one big ass family, and I think that's what I've taken away from this whole experience in crypto. I'm so thankful for my family that I've gotten with Crypto for Life and Chicago, Dippo, to all you guys. Each of you guys in some way have been a huge part of my life. And I'll say this, always remember that when you're moving in this space, think about the people that you want to be a part of your family, and think about the type of people that you would want to be in business with. There's some people in crypto I would never associate with in my personal life. There's some people in crypto I would never do business with. And I'll leave you guys with this. I always say the greatest thing about crypto is anybody can do it. And the worst thing about crypto is anybody can do it. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys in a major way. God bless you guys. I got to get out of here and go spend time with the wife.
Thank you. Tell Jeanette we love her.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Jay, big hugs.
Thank you, James.
Hi.
Much love, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Bye. Stone, you're chomping at the bit. Like What do
He
you
was
say?
he was speaking my language.
I know he was.
So many things he said hit home, and I've spoke about him in my spaces, and I was in a space the other night and ended up getting to talking about military experience and basically going through hardships and going through the suck together really brings you together. And when you have to overcome adversity together, it evokes that and struggle adversity, right? Like when you are struggling and you are in pain emotionally, physically, you're exhausted, whatever, and somebody is there either going through it with you or helping you go through it, doesn't matter because emotion is attached to it. And once emotion is attached to it, it's a game changer, right? It elevates the whole feeling. So the fact that we're all feeling connected to one another and we're like-minded individuals, we all went through that same struggle. We all suffered that same suck in our own way, and we persevered to this point, to a point that the universe connected us, right? And so speaking to his point that you don't want to be associated with shitty people, and those shitty people were weeded out through this ridiculous process of disbelief and false narratives and all the adversities that we all had to overcome. We all experienced that together, whether we knew each other or not. And so the fact that we come together in these spaces and you resonate with somebody's vibration, you resonate with something that somebody is saying, there's a reason you're here. There's a reason that you resonate with that because you suffered the same, injustice or whatever, however it affected you in that way. You're in this space now and you're hearing these words now because you need to hear them. And if you made it through all that shit to this point,
Yeah.
you should feel a sense of entitlement that you've earned it because you have earned it. We've all earned it. And I don't know, bring your neighbor along that's worth it, and show up to spaces and learn about the process. And when you see the name Trimaera in like 3 years, it's going to be associated with trust because you've heard my spaces, because you've been in these videos, because all the things that are coming out that we're putting out as a community, um, it's it's beautiful. And I'm gonna get sidetracked, and I know that your show's gone over and all the things, and I'm sorry,
No,
but
not at all.
come join us on X.
Yeah.
I would
I-
love to answer that question
Yeah.
though about why people should support the community.
Great.
So I'm going to appeal to people's self-interest. There are so many different reasons people are in this space: price, tech, They think it's going to be the new financial system. Like, I'm here for all three of those, right? And this community is building. They're building, they're testing, they're breaking, they're fixing. And you have the opportunity to see how this works and how it's built from the ground up. You have the opportunity to see what vulnerabilities there are, what strengths there are, what security like. And you're only going to learn this by like talking to these projects, listening to them, hearing their struggles, without like bashing them and making them run away. You know what I mean? And supporting doesn't necessarily mean, you have to buy in, but listen, talk, help, advise, retweet. There's so many things you can do to support, but just let the conversations be had, and we'll all benefit from it.
I have
Well
one more thing to add.
Well
I have
said,
one more
lady.
thing to add, and you can go. Um, for the listener that doesn't understand why they should be involved in crypto before it's made easy, I was having my daughters are learning how to drive, and we saw a commercial where the car crab walked and it parked itself, right? Or no, the car crab walked and got out of like a tight area, and then the next commercial was a guy pushing a button and it parked itself. And Amanda turned to me and was like, we're really dumbing down society this
Yeah.
much. That's what crypto is going to go to. When crypto gets to the point where all you have to do is enter your driver's license number and now you have a wallet and it's all set up, you've lost how to drive. You've lost the ability to learn how to drive because now the self-driving car has been given to you, right? So what I'm saying is learn how to drive a stick shift now while the stick shift still exists. come into the space, and learn how the ledger works, learn how the UIs interface with the DEX, learn how to place orders, learn how to place buy orders, learn how to place sell orders, learn how you holding a coin affects the community, and learn how selling the coin can boost the community. Like all these things, this is what I'm offering. This is what everybody on this screen is offering you. Come to these spaces and just listen. Bring a notepad, write down your notes, ask your questions. If you don't want to talk, you send me a DM, right? Stone_XRPL. Come ask me questions about XRP and how it's going to change the future of finance. I'm going to tell you all about it. Yeah, everybody, and we all have notes because we want to wait till our turn, and we don't want to forget what our question was, and we don't want to forget what
When
what
I'm at
what we want
work,
to contribute.
when I'm at
Yeah,
work, I'm
always.
listening to you guys constantly, and I will come home with like little pieces of notes. Like I don't like to throw paper away when you misprint something. So as long as it's got a nice big white side to it, I like take it, cut it in half, and make myself scrap paper. So I have a stack of scrap paper at my desk, and I'll be listening and working, and somebody will say something, and I'll write it down, and I'll write it down, and then I bring all those scrap pieces home, and I'm looking at it, and I'm going, what the hell is this? Or sometimes I go, oh yeah, I want to reach out to that person or whatever. And a lot of times you listen to these spaces, the thing I like about it is they present things, questions that I didn't even know I needed to ask. And so, I am, you know, hopeful in creating, my own token someday or my own NFT to try to figure out how all this stuff works. But I want to know all these questions that I need to ask before I go willy nilly and create something bad because you are responsible. And that was one of the things I heard in one of your spaces where somebody was saying, when you create something, you are responsible for it. There are people that have invested and bought into your token. You can't just go, oh well, I screwed up, it didn't work. You know what I mean? That's not responsible. And so that's where I think that this space is so important with all of you guys, and then all the people that are watching or connected. We have such the ability to teach one another, and it is much like the internet. When you first started learning, there was a bunch of beta stuff out there. I didn't know it at the time that it was beta and that they were using us to test these things out, where you're teaching yourself how to build a message board or teaching yourself how to build a website through MySpace, all these types of things. Once they figured all that stuff out and how to make it proprietary, all of that went away. You can't find these types of things anymore. Because why? Because now you have to go into the proprietary thing. This is going to happen in the crypto space also. And so now, if you are interested in this, you have the opportunity to learn and empower yourself so that you're not depending on a third party telling you what you can and you cannot do. So, uh, yeah. Tosi, did you have something I thought you were wanting to say?
Well, I'll hit on this. There's a few things that should get us all excited as XRP XRPL holders. We have price oracles now, DID. Axelar is going to give us, smart contracts, dirt, brain part. And you put smart contracts with oracles together. That's probably a whole episode. Obviously, XRP Unleashed. We have, as was mentioned, we have 3 S1 ETFs plus Grayscale Trust. RLUSCs coming any day. We just had yesterday happen. Need I say more? And all kinds of stuff's being tokenized on the ledger, real world assets. Reaper Financial they work with, we're tokenizing gold and silver. And we just had an amazing meme coin launch. Like I think we're setting the standard for what a meme coin is.
I'm gonna have to get with you, Toasty, because I want to learn more about the Reaper coin and what Reaper is doing. Just because I've heard a lot of great things about it, and I have gotten a chance to meet Patrick and talk with him. He was on my show at one point when he was actually running for president. Uh, so I definitely want to learn more. So I'll definitely reach out.
Well, this has been a fantastic show, you guys. I kind of want to go around the room for final thoughts, and if you would let people know how they can find you on whatever platform, which most everybody is on X. Somebody did ask; they don't know what Spaces is. They're going to have to duck go it. So I thought that was cute as a button. But why don't we start with Amanda and go up, and then we'll end with our special guest Stone. So we'll go Amanda, Lady K, Toasty, Keda, and Stone, and then I'll take us out.
Awesome. So yeah, in regard to your original question, I guess I'll just put my answer to that along with my farewell. So first of all, you can find me Optimistic Prime on all platforms except TikTok. I'm Optimistic Prime 5.0 because I've lost 4 accounts. 2 of them were at 50,000. And I have lots of scammers, so please be aware that that's one of the reasons why I'm starting to try to do spaces and stuff, because I have a lot of imposters that say they're me and they copy my stuff and they write you and tell you to put your money somewhere. Don't listen to them. Okay, and then I just, to tie everything in, I really believe that one of the things that's happened is that, somebody was asking today, why are we all like this? And it is the perseverance. And I truly believe in co-creation. I believe that God wins and we're the children of God. And so we win. And that ultimately we're creating the resonance field of the ripple effect. And that because we're coming together, our resonance field, our energy field ripples out. And that's literally what the Ohm is. Ohm, I created the Ohm coin on the Stellar Ledger out of a hole in the ground at the Warsaw Caves. And this image is literally a hole in the ground. And so the fact that that is from the very beginning of my journey into the mystic, it's been this, if you just find your path and you find all the other people finding their path, then together you create a resonance field that brings people into it. And I believe people only change when they're inspired. And so I think that's what this community is, just so beautiful. And when we do overcome our obstacles or issues, or when we're weeding out the bad actors or whatever it looks like, when we're trying to find who our people are, I think it's just such a beautiful thing, because I think we're magnets and we literally draw in the people that resonate with us, and together, I don't know if you guys know a lot about energy, but amplifies, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It doesn't even itself out, it actually gets bigger. And so I think that that's what this is what's happening right now, and that ultimately we are the drops. It is us. And my final thoughts, I'm just so moved. I feel the revolution will not be televised, and this is it. And you can't fight for peace. I believe that I've been saying a lot. You guys have been quoting me now, which is really exciting. That and Toasty said it too. The only way out is through. And one of the biggest things when you're talking about self-custody, not waiting, I really believe in sovereignty. And I believe that, for 8 years, Trump has actually been trying to tell us that it's us, and that he was giving power back to the people. And I'm Canadian, but I still, I vicariously through you guys. And that the whole path is sovereignty. And when you own your own keys and you own your own wallet, that is the first step to really realizing the banks are not to be trusted, guys. It's you. You're the only person to trust. And this is what is happening. And I'm just going to plug that I'm on Mr. Man's open town hall on Friday on Patreon. You have to join Patreon, but he's opened it up to anybody, even the free people, this week, which is really exciting, because we're talking about my project and how I want to implement sovereignty through my projects. And that's really the passion. And I feel it, and I feel that, yeah, I'm just so excited. November 5th, will go on in infamy forevermore. And Guy Fawkes would be so damn proud of you guys for the lawful way. It's the lawful way. It's the living men and living women standing in their rights to say, yes and no. And I'm just so deeply honored to be here the day after. And no sleep was well worth it. And I'll try to be at crypto and more crypto and coffee in the morning. And yeah, thank you so much for having us here. And check out my Blue Umbrella token and my NFTs, the new tinfoil hat collection on XRP.cafe and the Blue Umbrella. And yay, it's
Simon, how much time you got?
I got about 30 seconds. We just about break for lunch, but this was a freaking amazing show. I have so much work to do in the morning to like chop all these little sound bites out, man. I mean, nothing but fire. Melissa, I tip my hat to you, Stone. I'm loving the vibes, dude. Your energy was resonating through. Toasty, my man, love to see you. Lady Kate, you're gonna go see XRP Unleashed in Washington State or Washington D.C. What'd you say?
DC.
Ah,
DC.
damn! All right, I got my hopes
Sorry,
all up. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. But I just wanted to swing through real quick, say hi to everybody. Peace and love. I gotta go. Dip a toe.
Thanks. Love you, Simon.
Bye bye.
Bye. All right. Awesome. He got to pop in. Lady K, final thoughts. Where are you from? Where can they find you? Actually, I will tell you guys while Amanda was talking, I was dropping the links to your handles to your X accounts in the chat for those that are interested.
Yeah, you can find me on X, and I can only do like one media platform at a time. I like join everyone's Telegrams and Discord, and then I never go in there. So, and do spaces and just come by and say hi.
Well, we thank you so much for coming.
That's
I'd love
all.
to have you. I'd
Have
love
a
to
good
have
night.
you come back to talk about the real estate and the opportunities in that and what you see them building. So we'll definitely have you back on Dip a Toe if you would come back. That'd be fantastic. Toasty.
I love that. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. Come see Kristen, Stone, myself, anybody else. I see Optimistic. I see all you guys in spaces. Just come say hi. I'm just here to spread the love and help grow my network. Everybody else's here's network. Again, all boats rise together, and may the XRPL win.
Love it. Thank you so much, Toasty. You're great. Miss Keda.
Hey,
Tell us what you got,
everybody.
my friend.
So you can find me on X with Keda1211, and I do have my own show that I'll be doing tomorrow night. I do it at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it is Keeping It 100 with Keda and the Crew with my lovely co-host, Miss Melissa. So definitely come through. It is a safe space to be able to have great conversations. I am working on no sleep because I was up last night for the election. And so stinking excited for what's to come. As a mother, as a human, as a citizen of the United States, I really have to say that you can't expect change if you don't get in the fight. And I know a lot of people that refused to vote, and you can't complain if you don't make your voice heard. So just know that, when they tell you they're going to give you that 2 hours and they have to pay you in order for you to be able to go and vote, that's because they consider it a civic duty. You know what I mean? So definitely take your time, build a community, right? Get to know some of the people in the space if you're interested in the space, because these are the people that are going to help you through, especially if you're new. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's a lot to learn. It's a lot to learn, and if you don't take the time to learn, you'll get wrecked, and it's not because you didn't try. It's not because you, it's not because you didn't want to do it right. But, when they say the things like do your research, and I know Stone touched on this earlier, I was flowing in the wind. You know what I mean? I went to YouTube and You know, I'm sure I did what everybody else did, which was try to find those, people out there doing videos. And when I got in, they weren't really trying to really get you as much as they are now because people aren't making as much money as they used to, you know. So take your time, do your research, read till the end because a lot of people don't do that, you know. Make sure you read that last paragraph because I bet you most of the information is in that last paragraph. And have a good night.
Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Mr. Stone. It's
I
been a pleasure having
lost
you on this show, I have to say. Thank you so
Mhm.
much for coming. You lost your thoughts?
I lost audio.
Oh, no,
No,
you
you
didn't.
didn't.
I can hear you.
We can hear you.
You guys can hear me, but I can't hear you, and I'm sorry.
It's
Uh,
okay.
I was on my
It's okay.
headphones and they died. I'll take it by body language you can hear me, and I really appreciate this opportunity to come on here. The amount of love and attention and energy that the different developers and the different what I call ledger leaders have shown me has been overwhelming, and energy feeds energy, and the positive energy that you guys give me is amazing. And the fact that a person like me that I always have to have all my ducks in a row, and I always have to have like a game plan, and I have a today plan, a week plan, a 5 year plan, a 10 year plan, and for me to resign and jump into this world and just be embraced the way that I've been embraced, and like the feedback that I've gotten, it's just so inspiring, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm excited to like do what I do every day. I'm excited to exist, and I'm also there's levels, right? Like we're talking about crypto now, we're talking about digital assets and the future of finance now, but I'm also really into mental health and service, and
Sorry about that.
I'm into power greater than us. I'm into so many different things that if you come to coffee and crypto, or you're in any space that I'm in and we end up talking about something different, it might inspire you. You might inspire me. And it was alluded to during this space that we don't know what we don't know, and we sometimes we don't know the right questions to ask, but you might ask the right question, not knowing your ass from a hole in the ground, nothing to do with crypto. You might ask the right question. You might hear something that we're saying and it doesn't make sense, and you have the fortitude to stand up and ask the question, and you might help out a room full of people. There's some spaces that we have. There's 100 people live in the space, to 200 people, whatever, and then there's like 1,200 people come back and look at the recording. It's amazing to me. Like, numbers are numbers, and to have 5,000 people, there's probably 1,000 bots following me, but like 5,000 people really care what I have to say. Like, is that a thing? Is that real? And then, and then they come into these live spaces and tell you they care, and the things you're saying are resonating with them, and like the gravity of the situation, the force that is pushing us together is real, and just believe in it. And I turned my TV off 2 years ago. Change your life, change your perspective, right? Go to bed every night and think of the 5 things that you pray to God are still there in the morning. Those are your blessings. Start with 5 before you go to bed. When you wake up in the morning, make your bed. Start your day with success, and come to Coffee and Crypto. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, I loved it. That fantastic. I appreciate everyone here. I do want to say we have 247 people listening. The Crypto for Life family came out in full force. We appreciate you guys so much. They are part of my family also, and I love that we're starting to cross over, cross populate our people. I want to thank everyone who supports Dip a Toe. Please hit that like button on the way out and subscribe to the Dip a Toe channel if you can. Do that for me. I would really, really appreciate it. Next week, We have some of you may be familiar with an account on X called Smoke. Smoke is going to be joining us in the second hour, so in the 9 o'clock hour. Not sure what I'm doing for the first hour, so there's several opportunities for me to have somebody on, and I'm just trying to think of who I want to mesh with the same kind of information. So if you guys would come back next week, it's going to be a really good show. And once again, thank you to our panel. We love you. Love you, Simon. And next time, I don't know. What do I want to say? What
Just
can
a
we do?
reminder that this is not financial advice and we are doing this for entertainment purposes only. And do your own research. And Stone, you're muted.
Not financial advice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. We'll see you next time. Same day, same bat channel.